everybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get late.
And again, it's picked up. It's Darius Leonard. A pick six for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Sabonis down the lane with authority.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome in. I'm in studio. Hello, everybody. In studio. Glad to be here back on YouTube Live. We'll take roll call from everybody coming up in just a bit. Welcome back to a week in which a Sunday, a weekend where, well, I mean, if you're a fan of IU football notwithstanding, yeah, the IU basketball thing went down, and you had the IU football on at the same time at the Big House in Michigan. Boilermakers knocking off previously unbeaten third-ranked Michigan State. David Bell's going to join us today at 5:30. Now, we are sure about that, right? All right. Positive. Former Warren Central standout, and man, what a season he is having. I mean, just doing what he was wanting out there, and has been fun to watch. Talk to David Bell coming up today around 5:30 or so. JJ's going to join us from Bally Sports, Indiana. Hopefully you had a chance to watch that yesterday. First road win for the Pacers. If you watched them on Friday night against Portland, they were right there, up 9. 4 or less, I think, to go in the game. And if you watched it, I mean, Damian Lillard had struggled so far this season and struggled even more offensively in that game against the Pacers. That was C.J. McCollum that really lifted Portland up. But the Pacers should have I thought T.J. McConnell was talking to, who was he talking to? J.J. yesterday after the game had mentioned that, hey, they should have won in Portland, and he's right. So you could not let that one slide. I mean, you look at that Portland game, and then you go back to Charlotte, and you look at Washington. There have been all these near misses. And I know a lot of you want to be down on the Pacers. I mean, record-wise, they're still trying to work their way back, certainly. But they were incredibly, I thought, enjoyable to watch on Sunday. I mean, you can see him being coached up. Rick Carlisle slowed it down. Didn't want to play at the pace of Sacramento. I know it's Sacramento, but they needed a road win. It didn't matter who it was. Yeah, regardless of where you're going to be playing. But we'll talk to JJ about that. Basically, everybody had a pretty good night, at least in the starting lineup. Pretty good afternoon if you're going at it from a Sacramento standpoint. I mean, really in Portland, though. Portland, they played pretty well, too. They just had an El Foldo down the stretch. And it was a lot of McCollum in that game. It was going to be a lot of Halliburton down the stretch for Sacramento yesterday, but the Pacers got enough. Miles been playing well. Sabonis been playing well. McConnell being a part of that starting lineup. Malcolm Brogdon is a non-COVID. You got to specify that now, right? Because when somebody says you just can't be sick, now it's a non-COVID illness. I don't know if that means he ate something bad or what. But he did not play in Portland on Friday night. Did not play yesterday in Sacramento. That was kind of a quick turnaround, though, by NBA standards, because they played in the afternoon in Sacramento. We'll see if they plays coming up on Wednesday night. They're in Denver, and then they close out that 4-game Western road swing on Thursday in Salt Lake City, then back at home Saturday night versus Philadelphia. But now I don't know if you had time to watch them. I don't know if you did watch them. Maybe you didn't remember they were on. Hopefully you did, because they played well down the stretch. It was an entertaining game to watch. Actually, Friday night was entertaining. You didn't get off to an entertaining start, because you thought they were going to get blown out of the Moda Center. Alas, they did not. But still, unfortunately, lost on the road. But they got one back last night on the road in Sacramento, which I think recent memory, has not been kind to them. But they got that yesterday afternoon. JJ's going to join us coming up here at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. We shall discuss that. We'll talk about Brogdon, how Rick Carlisle is getting used to this group right now. The other thing that I noticed, and I love pointing this out, the best in the world, it was a struggle for the best in the world down the stretch. If you watch, Karis LeVert literally got fouled 3 times going to the hoop. I think second to last possession, because they had to survive that Halliburton missed 3, and then they apparently didn't get a timeout called in time, and then you had a tip before that. I mean, it was the best in the world had a struggle going on. And no question about it. But it was survived by the Pacers on the road. JJ coming up at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. It gave you a little bit of freedom yesterday, didn't it? Colts playing on Thursday night, beating the Jets, gave you a little freedom to kind of sit back and relax and watch other crap going on. And obviously, as a Colts fan, you're hoping for other crap to go down, right? And other crap did go down. And everybody in the world, and this is not sour grapes, not at all. But everybody in the world, you got to give credit where credit is due. All right, I'm going to say that. I'll preface what I'm about to say by you got to give credit where credit is due. You do. I mean, they're winning games. I don't know if, to me, they look like the best team in the AFC, but you got to say it that way. Credit where credit is due. And that is the Tennessee Titans. I mean, you go on the road and you put it to the LA Rams in the fashion in which they did, 28-16. No doubt about that on Sunday Night Football. That was impressive. However, much like what we saw against Tennessee was the undoing down the stretch, week before last against the Colts, the quarterback position. Matthew Stafford did in his own team at home last night. Did you guys get a load of that? I mean, really, essentially, if you watched the game last night, it was the same crap that happened to Wentz late in the game against the Titans the week prior. I mean, it just was. I mean, it was in the end zone. Instead of taking a safety, which I think Terry McCauley on the broadcast came on after that play and said with forward progress being marked, that would not have been a safety. But Stafford went kind of in the spin cycle and decided to throw one, and he threw it right to the Titans. So they're basically inside the 5, ultimately score, and then the next possession, I think it was Byard. He threw it right to Kevin Byard, didn't he? Right to him. It was so reminiscent of Wentz down the stretch when the Titans beat the Colts in overtime. I mean, you just had a bad trying to make a play moment, and then you just stared somebody down and for whatever reason decided to throw it in that direction. So to me, credit where credit is due. I know everybody's in love with Vrabel right now. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't be. The Titans are 7-2, well on their way to winning the AFC South. All this stuff that we knew, probably figured a week ago. But you got to give the Rams a lot of credit for crapping the bed. Because to me, more than just the Titans D and more the way the Titans played offensively, that was more Rams bed crapping than it was the Titans just looking like they're one of the best teams in the AFC. If you watched it. I mean, if you didn't watch, you just go, wow, that's going on the road. And listen, I'm not trying to take anything. I guess I am trying to take something away from it. They're good, but they're not that great. That fair to say? And this has nothing to do with my point on the Colts, has nothing to do with any belief that the Colts are going to win this division. I mean, really has nothing to do with the Colts, in my belief, getting to the postseason. There's going to be a lot to overcome. But, the visions of greatness that everybody has with the Titans right now, I mean, honestly, they've had 2 games given to them. Their last 2 games, hey, here you go. And really twice with the Colts, and a dude that played and shouldn't have been playing. They turned the ball over 3 times in week 3 against the Colts. That any other team in the world, I guess, but the Colts would cash in on that. They, alas, did not. But the last 2 games, it's been more, I know, well, the Titans are dictating terms here. Nah, what they really are is just basically like everybody else. They are. They're like everybody else. Hey, listen, I started out the season with the flavor of 2021 being the Buffalo Bills. Did you guys happen to see that offensive, I'm not going to say offensive, but offensive act yesterday? I'm sorry, but Jacksonville's defense not that good. That's self-inflicted stuff right there. Josh Allen. The Bills were my rep to the Super Bowl, and Josh Allen was the MVP. Neither looked the part yesterday. Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens? How many times are you going to have to survive? I mean, just absolutely yank one out of your rear end, and I grant you this. There is a lot to be said about surviving games that you probably should not win, but you ultimately do. But it seems like that's common for the Ravens to put themselves in that situation. We all know that ultimately that situation is going to burn you. I mean, the Bengals 2 weeks ago, the Bengals were all of a sudden the it team in the AFC. Now they might be the it team, but you can put an S and an H in front of the it team if you want to right now. Because that's what they've looked like the last 2 weeks. Now, you look around the AFC, the Titans are 7-2. And you would think that they are blowing everybody's door off, but they're not. They're surviving. And that's what it's going to take. Like, I sit here right now because we always talk about the Colts, and hopefully the Colts have this within them. Just being able to survive and give yourself a chance. I don't know if they do. I'd like to think that they do, but this is going to have to come against a team or two that we would presume to be, as of right now, better than them. And I don't know if I can sit here and tell you I count on that. But there's nobody going to run away here. What do you think the Titans end up with? 14 wins? Some people are saying 14 wins. I mean, they're surviving right now. They got to survive even more without Derrick Henry. I mean, think about that yesterday. Yeah, I know they put themselves in position, but the Rams, to me, did more to lose that game than the Titans did. I mean, you look at the Titans' numbers. I mean, A.J. Brown wasn't like A.J. Brown had been the past 2 weeks. Had a couple of drops in that game. Got into a Jalen Ramsey. We are going to see what the Colts are made of. Because while you look at all these teams in the AFC, and this should be, at least I'm talking about from their standpoint, I'm not talking about winning the AFC South. I mean, you got one team that's 7-2. It'd have to be a major meltdown to even sniff that opportunity. But just surviving to get to the postseason, I'm going to be really disappointing if the Colts cannot put themselves in a position to do that. And you should too. And I know that you will. I mean, hell, even the owner and the helicopter on the way to see Bob Dylan in Bloomington. Would he play at the auditorium? Bob Dylan? Yeah, did you see that last night? Jumped in a helicopter, went down to see Bob Dylan. Jim Irsay is in rock music mode right now. He's going to Washington, D.C., and with Kenny Wayne Shepherd and Mike Mills and singing Give Me Shelter and knocking on heaven's door. But he also, on the way to see Dylan in Bloomington last night, had tweeted, and I'll get it. Actually, I could probably get it if I wasn't going to be lazy right now. Let's see if I can find it, just so we all are on the same page with what he had to say, and I'll give you my angle in which why I felt that he had said it. and what it meant. And again, you can agree, disagree, whatever. So yesterday afternoon, he tweeted, Jags beat the Bills 9-6. If we would have held on to our double-digit leads in home Tennessee game and away in Baltimore, we'd be the best team in the AFC. What does it mean? We're close. Keep fighting. Here's what this means. That is typical rah-rah Jim Irsay stuff. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, that is a shot over the bow of Matt Eberflus. See, look where this could be if. Now, before everybody jumps to Eberflus conclusions here, this is also a shot over the bow of Chris Ballard, I think it should be. Because while you look at Matt Eberflus and we say, the type of defense that he plays, it just doesn't work with this personnel. And injuries aside, who puts together that personnel? Absolutely. Who's been swinging it missing at different aspects up front? A couple of difference in the secondary. So that's not just a shot at the defensive coordinator. To me, that's a shot at the guy that directs the player personnel, in this case, the general manager. Look where we would be. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. That doesn't mean anybody's going anywhere. Certainly Chris isn't going anywhere. Frank isn't going anywhere. But it's going to magnify the disappointment if these guys don't pick it up and tough this out and survive, as I mentioned. Because this is survivable. I mean, the AFC is survivable. But you're going to have to be tougher than others. And I don't know if I believe that this team can be that. Because they have been, unfortunately, unwilling to show us that. Especially against good teams. But it's certainly right there. I mean, you watch Buffalo's act. You had Tampa Bay here. I thought Arizona was tough on the road against San Francisco yesterday without Kyler Murray completely screwing my fantasy team, by the way. Yeah, I know. I had to. See, this whole game time decision stuff, and I'm glad Jay Glazer told me it won, and then I go out and I throw a dart at a dartboard of quarterbacks, and guess what guy this numbnut selected yesterday? Anybody guess? Of the available quarterbacks, because you find out that Kyler Murray, absolutely, I was hanging on to hope. I mean, I was trailing hope. Well, like Indiana Jones hanging from his whip on the back of that truck in the Egyptian desert in Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm like hanging by that whip, hoping that Kyler Murray's able to play. He was. You want to know who I selected? Guess. What available quarterback did I select? And he was kind of a flavor of the moment because it was a tremendous story. It was a big story as to the reason why he was playing. And I probably could have just gone with Colt McCoy, but who did this dumbass decide to go with?
Did you pick up the quarterback some fans wanted here in Indy last year before they traded for DeForest Buckner?
Oh, yeah. I went with Jordan Love.
Oof.
Yeah. I went with Jordan Love, who was far, and I mean far, removed from primetime material. I got to thank what's-his-nuts Sorensen for missing that tackle to even get the squad into the end zone. He went high, and Lazard went low, and oh, yeah, that's me. That's me. Jordan Love. Now, but back to the Colts for a moment. And those expectations that Irsay has, I would have to think that he's along the same lines as all of you thinking right now. I mean, this is, in the AFC, this is about surviving. Because there are a lot of teams, and nobody's believing that the Colts, by the way, are in anywhere near the zip code of these teams in which we're talking about all kind of surviving. They have to prove it to you that they're capable of doing it. Like, we've seen the proof against the Dolphins. We've seen the proof against the Texans. We saw the proof on Thursday night against the Jets. But it's going to take more than that. because this team so put itself behind the 8 ball at the start of the season, and that's something that we remarked about over the course of the summer. Cannot afford to put yourself that far back to start, and they have. But it is interesting when you look around. I mean, when you look around, you could be right there. Are they? And I hate to throw around the toughness thing, coming from some 51-year-old idiot like me. Don't get me wrong on this. This is everybody. This is not just the toughness of football players. This is everybody. I mean, staff, head coach, players, anybody that makes a decision over there. Because you got off to that horrific start, and now, given the landscape around you, you still have a legit opportunity. But if you're like me, I don't know if I'm going to buy that they're capable of taking advantage of it. The owner sees it. The owner saw it. And the owner's right. I know everybody wanted to you produce an angle in which you want to go with, and everybody was all about Tennessee and the best in the AFC. If that's the best in the AFC, most of these teams still have a legitimate chance because that was silver plattered to them yesterday. Very similar to what the Colts did the week prior. We shall see what this team has in them in the weeks to come. I don't know so much about Jacksonville. I mean, that's a team that you should beat the hell out of anyway. And I know, you look at the past, I know last year on the road in Jacksonville, whatever. When's the last time Jacksonville won a road game? Buffalo was so terrible. Anybody think that was more about Josh Allen and Buffalo's offense or about this incredible Jacksonville defense? Sure. Yeah, sell that one.
Week 15, 2019, they beat Oakland at Oakland.
So it has been a while. You don't want to be that mark. You don't want to be that mark. And then you'll get ready to face some teams. Buffalo on the road, Tampa here. That's going to be your surviving, proving ground. You're going to have to now. That's the situation in which you're in. We can discuss that and more at 239-1070. Email address at jmv@1070thefan.com. Show is on Facebook Live. Well, it would have been a little bit earlier. It's actually on YouTube Live right now. It's funny, I start talking about the show was here and the show was there. Kyle and I did Facebook Live right before we came up here. We did it on 5 as I did commercials. So if you missed Facebook Live, I went behind the scenes with you. I'm sure you were thrilled with it. What we do, 5? 4? 5? We did a couple of bullseyes and 3 Mark Deedles. And Jeff Covey said, hey, don't you do those live? I do these all live here. But these are ones that run outside of my broadcast window. Like, for example, when Jake and Kevin are on at 8 o'clock in the morning, I can't roll in here and do a live one. But a bit of a behind the scenes if you want to check that out. YouTube Live Inside the Lounge is rolling right now. And it's the first time I've been in this in a long time. Actually, today and tomorrow I'm in studio, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday back on the road again, but it's all good. No, Dish Hour, I didn't pick Brissett. I picked Jordan Love. Seriously, Jordan Love. What in the world? And I was all over the map yesterday. I mean, all over the map. I was like a character in Fight Club. Literally, I was all over the place. Like, there'd be one good game. I feel really good about that, and then you miss that? What? That Rams game was really the undoing. I know a lot of you probably had similar issues. We going to do a race trash anything goes, or are we going to wait until tomorrow? And we might try to do a race trash anything goes. 5 o'clock hour for that? That should be pretty interesting. Yeah, I know it does wear you out, doesn't it? I mean, aren't you glad that you have the local angle where it doesn't have to be 24/7, 365 Aaron Rodgers? I'll leave that. We'll leave that nationally, and we'll leave that to Milwaukee. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, every conceivable angle of Aaron Rodgers from folks that are just wanting to get some airtime, right? I mean, yeah. That, once again, is why you should absolutely love and embrace the local angle. Like, we're talking about stuff that nobody else in the world is going to talk about, that you care about, that nobody else in the world does care about. Everybody else is all going to go easy. Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers that. Not here. All right, I'm going to crack open the phones at 239-1070 coming up on the other side. Let me take a break. JJ, top of the hour. Pacers get a win over Sacramento, the second of 4 straight out west on the road. You know, Wednesday and Thursday back-to-back, that's incredibly difficult. Denver and Utah. We'll talk to JJ about a variety of things. See if Brogdon comes back on Wednesday. That Friday night loss in Portland, which was unfortunate. David Bell is going to join us at 5:30 today, too. Just an incredible performance. You know what? I love it because not only is he playing at the highest level of production, but he is also an incredible kid. I love it when those two things go together. I love it when you got both. Both merge. It makes it even more enjoyable. Yeah, I know. I get a lot of this. Hey, JMV, what are your Reds doing? What do you think they're doing? What do you guys think they're doing? College basketball, by the way, getting fired up. We got a lot of ground to cover. All right, 239-1070. Email address to JMV at 1070thefan.com. Shows on Twitter at JMV1070. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. Let me take a break. I'll come back with your calls and more. Sit tight.
This year, our average client received over $52,000 with an easy cash-out refinance. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
So then I dropped some garlic and croutons on there, and the rest is salad history. I made the best salad ever, people, and now I'm making the best app. The Caesar Sportsbook app got live in-game betting, parlays, and Caesar rewards. Caesar salad ain't got nothing on my app. Nothing!
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app. Your app is ready, Emperor.
This ad for Hellsberg Diamonds has been specifically written for those who'd rather think about hockey than engagement rings. You're at a game and your team scores the winning goal just as time runs out. Now, if that game is your proposal and you're running out of time to find the perfect engagement ring, Hellsberg Diamonds is your winning shot. Our combination of quality diamonds, wide selection, and a price match guarantee means you can be confident in your Hellsberg Diamonds engagement ring buzzer beater. Visit your local Hellsberg store and ask about our amazing financing options or check us out at hellsberg.com.
It's Terry Stacy for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Owner Chris Ambrose says second opinions are important.
We want to make sure that you are confident in the service that you're getting from whoever. The diagnostic that we give you may be different from the one that you got before. What we hope is it'll give you peace of mind that you're getting the right solution for your problem.
Get your free second opinion from B&W by going to BigBlackTrucks.com. Your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
There has never been a better time to work at Amazon. They are offering sign-on bonuses up to $3,000 and pay up to $24.50 per hour. Many jobs come with great benefits that start on your first day. And Amazon offers a variety of paths for career growth. They have flexible shifts and schedules, and you can start in as little as 7 days, so you'll be earning extra income just in time for the holidays. Go to Amazon.com/apply to get started today. Amazon is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Stan Dockage here with my wife, the lovely Lee Ross. Lee, we've had several jobs done at our house by the Michaelis Corporation, some planned, some not so planned. They helped us with an emergency, if I remember correctly.
Michaelis did some great scheduled contracting work for us, but when we had a water emergency because a pipe leaked, they were all over it quickly. They got the mess dried out and repaired all the damage from the leak, just like new.
Yeah, water in a house where it's not supposed to be can cause a lot of problems. Now it's like it never happened.
Yep, when we were in a pinch, the whole crew from Michaelis did a great job around the house. And what made it even better was they helped guide us through the insurance process.
Besides their incredible professionalism in emergency services and insurance restoration, Michaelis has experts in waterproofing, foundation repair, mold remediation, indoor air quality, and general contracting. Spelled Michaelis, pronounced Michaelis. Call 844-FIX-INDY. That's 844-FIX-INDY or michaeliscorp.com.
To working at Geico, our best advocates are our employees, like Michael. But since he is so focused on growing his career, we hired an actor to read his story.
If you want a job where you get out as much as you put in, Geico is the best place to work. Plus, we promote from within, so there are no ceilings placed on your opportunities.
They even offer parental leave to full-time employees. So there's nothing stopping him from going all the way to the top. But not too high. He's scared of heights.
Ready to start your career, Indy? We're hiring claim sales and service agents. Apply online today at geico.job/Indy.
Don't let erectile dysfunction rob you of your ability to perform at your best and satisfy your partner. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic now at 317-999-9000.
SportsCenter updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires for the lowest price on every tire every day with financing available. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Put on your helmet. It's about to get real.
Mike Tirico.
I think it's become more significant to take care of your division. To be a 5, 6, or 7 seed and go on the road, that's going to be really hard. Can the Colts go on the road and win 3 road playoff games to get to the Super Bowl against Buffalo, Kansas City, the Chargers, Vegas, whoever that is? You can win 1, you win 2. It's hard to win 3.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist, and I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Thank you very much, sir.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Colts Roundtable Live is tonight at 6 inside IU Hoopage. 7:05 tonight. JJ, top of the hour at Bally Sports, Indiana. You guys still struggling with the watch right now? Anybody get a chance to watch it yesterday, Friday night? David Bell of Purdue is going to join us coming up at 5:30 today. Do we have Dirk's Bentley tickets to give away? Do I see that up there? Oh, yeah. You country music fans. Got that for you. Matt writes this. Wasn't David Bell on the Warren team that took down Romeo and the Dogs in Seymour a few years back? He was. Actually, the last time he was on. I was gauging his interest of wanting to be a part of the Matt Painter Hoops team. Now, they're loaded. Don't get me wrong, they're loaded. But I got to ask anyway, because I love it. I love it when a dude, and I know that when you get that far and you got all those, NFL dreams in front of you, that you err on the side of caution, but I love when dudes go multi like that. Love it. J-Law writes this. I had to dip into the quarterback pool as I didn't have a backup on my roster. I haven't had a backup J-Law all year. I don't have a backup anything. Not terrible. Matt Ryan, 28 plus. See? Why couldn't I beat that savvy? Well, that's just terrible. Big Glenn writes this. JMV, tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm going to Denver for the Pacer game Wednesday. Going to get that road win? What is that? Is that still the Pepsi Center or the Ball Center? Or what is that now? Pepsi Center. Yeah, man. Good for you, Big Glenn. That sounds like a blast right there. Got some weed while you're out there? I saw where Abdul downstairs, friend of this show, said that everybody's kind of leaning more on legalizing it around here. But, man, I wouldn't hold my breath. It's not like I'm going to run out and like Cheech and Chong it every day, but I might throw a couple of those brownies down and help my knees. Hey, JMV, I watched the Red Zone all afternoon trying to see how many NFC teams will win against AFC teams, and all I could say is thanks, Giants, for the only win yesterday against an AFC squad. Yeah, think about that for a moment. Denver on the road at Dallas. There's one that sideswiped everybody. JMV, stop blaming the Colts' woes on the Rams. The Colts are responsible for where they are, not the Rams. I didn't blame the Rams. I just said that wasn't about the Titans. That was about the Rams. I'm just trying to figure out how in the world you could muster up a take, whereas I was bearing out that responsibility on the Rams and not the Colts. There's an LOL there, so maybe you're joking. That has to be joke where there's no way in the world, Paul, that you heard it like that. None. Zero. At JMV, Chris Ballard with the Colts here. I've only selected 25 defensive players in my 5 drafts here in Indy. That's why I say our window isn't open. 25 picks is just getting started. That's not enough darts to throw at the dartboard to build this monster. I'm assuming this is not Chris Ballard, football guru, who goes by the ad as D-I-C-K humongous, is probably not the real Chris Ballard. Hey, JMV, if David Bell could pull the Charlie Ward and win the Heisman while chasing hoop dreams, he would go down as a major legend in West Lafayette. I think I like the kid. I liked him when he was in high school. But I like it when they do different things. All right, 239-1070 is the number. Jimmy's up first today. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. How you doing, my friend?
Jimmy, I am fantastic. It was great to see you last week. You've been out to a lot of our live gigs, and I appreciate it. You like Parks Place Pub? It was pretty nice.
I did, yeah. It was nice. It was my first time there. I went when there was something else, but it was great venue, and I'll definitely be there for some games. So
I wore pants, too. That made it extra special, the fact I had pants on, too. Did you notice that?
I did notice, yeah. But, hey, John, 2 things real quick.
Yeah.
One, I appreciate your interview last week with Paul Tesoro, the UND head coach. I actually went up to West Lafayette for the UND Purdue game, and it was UND on top of them for a while there, and then Purdue played well at the end. But the real reason why I called is the Pacers, John. I did watch both games over the weekend, and did you happen to see, by the way, at the end of the game last night when Miles and TJ got chirpy with some of the fans?
I did see that. Yeah. I kind of wanted. I'm going to ask JJ this at the top of the hour. I wanted JJ to. He kind of did, but I wanted to know what type of dialogue we had going back and forth. I saw that too. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. No, I was. If you get a chance to ask JJ about it, please do, and give JJ my best.
See, and that's what. Hey, thank you very much, Jimmy. That's what sucks about these guys not being on the road. I'm sure they always love it when I say, man, we got to get you guys back on the road, because I'm sure that they love doing games and still going home and being in their own bed and being with their family. But at the same time, I think if you're on the road, you get to know, what's going on. And I wanted to know the same thing at the end of that game yesterday, because it was McConnell and Miles had a little open dialogue going with one of the 5 Sacramento fans in that building. At JMV, it's incredible that the Titans are where they are and the Colts are where they are. Records don't indicate talent, but it can sure prevent you from the postseason. There's no doubt about it. Hey, listen, I'm not trying to, ease the burden that we all place on this organization to be better. But I'm just pointing out in the last 2 games, both of which were silver plattered to the Titans. They were. And you give Vrabel credit and everybody credit, and everybody, I'm sure, in Nashville is great. But we all know that that's not the case. But they're tough, and they're surviving, and in this AFC, that could end up being enough. It's certainly a lot better to be where the Colts stand right now. Harpoon says the Titans are taking pleasure in knocking out the Colts from the playoffs, Vrabel especially. He's as irritating as he was in a Patriots uniform. That I think one of the directions in which Ballard was going to go before the swing and the miss, and then Frank Reich. I think he was much higher than like 8th on the list than Frank Reich, or 9th or whatever. Yeah, I'm telling you, Stafford looked exactly like Wentz did. It's weird. I mean, the same stuff. If you look at those back-to-back picks last night, that's the same stuff. Same stuff. Randall, before the break at 239-1070. Give this a go. Hey, Randall, I'm here. I await your speaking.
How's it going today, man?
Randall, I'm great. Go ahead.
Hey, I was going to have one comment, but I guess I'll make 2 quick comments.
I think you should.
I think if the Colts listen to Dungy's soundbite on Jonathan Taylor and everything, I think if they put it in action, they'll make the playoffs. They might still get beat by the Titans if they got both Henry and Peterson still on the roster together eventually, but
hey, I don't disagree with you. I think that should be demanded.
What do the Pacers do right now?
What do I think the Pacers should do right now with what? In what way?
You think they need more offense or they need more defense?
I think that their coach is still trying to figure it out. Certainly they have a great deal of shortcomings, but I think it's too early to figure out exactly what they have right now. I mean, they've given you some moments. I mean, in Portland they gave you some moments. Yesterday they gave you some moments. I think that they're on a run where we have seen the 2 bigs certainly be valued by Carlisle. I love what Carlisle did to slow things down yesterday, tactically speaking. I think sometimes this team is of the talent level on which you certainly need to do that, and I think that's what a lot of people counted on when Carlisle came in here. You know, him being the difference here or there. So I think I guess what I'm saying is it sounds like a cop-out, Randall, but it's way, way too early to figure something out. They're in somewhat of an early season survival mode in their own right.
Yeah, haven't they lost like 4 games by like 3 points?
Charlotte, Washington, what I can't remember what happened in that Brooklyn game. They lost that Portland game. They were up 9 with under 4, I think, to play in the fourth quarter. So they've certainly had their moments.
That sounds like defense to me.
Well, I mean, it can be. There's no doubt about that. It certainly can be defense. And they played their last 2 games in the third quarter. Thank you, Randall. I appreciate that. Their last 2 games, I think, in the third quarter has been much better. They just melted down late in that game against Portland. That's unfortunate because that was right there. Right there. I may be missing one, but it was right there. Yeah, it's funny, too. You look at the difference in combinations that have been playing down the stretch with this team. I mean, you can see Carlisle trying to do different things and feel out what he has a little bit. Now, that's for sure. JMV, people used to roast Vrabel for some of his coaching decisions. I mean, they would if they didn't work out right now. I mean, if they don't work out, that's normally what's going to happen. 7-2 right now in the AFC. Bills are 5-3. The Ravens are 6-2. The Chargers are 5-3. And we're talking about, and you know, watch the Raiders yesterday losing to the Giants. All these teams the Colts have to jump over. I mean, you just hope that the Colts did not bury themselves as early as they did. And that was one of the things we all pointed out before the start of the season. You cannot let that happen. And they find themselves in this situation now. But it is going to be, if you don't make the postseason, if you're the Colts, that's going to be dreadful because there'd be no reason for it. You look at that Ravens game, both Titans games. And I have no problem whatsoever in suggesting to you that should be a demand. All right, quick break and we'll return. JJ, top of the hour. If you missed the game yesterday, McConnell and Miles did have a little bit of back and forth dialogue going with the Sacramento fans. JJ, I think, kind of alluded to it, but didn't get deeply into it with McConnell after the game. TJ had another nice game. Miles had another nice game. Duarte still, just fits perfectly. Hey, nothing's just outrageously great by any stretch. But it's always better to talk about it after a road win. In fact, the first road win of the season. JJ, top of the hour. Boilermaker wide receiver David Bell at 5:30. Race Trash Anything Goes in the 5 o'clock hour. And Dirk's Bentley tickets will give away, too. Back with you next.
Check out 1075thefan.com and sign up for the 2021 Drumstick Dash presented by Wheeler Mission on Thanksgiving Day to support Wheeler Mission's great cause.
We've done it again!
While other lenders are talking about raising their rates, our expert team at Golden Oak Lending has dropped rates even lower.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With the low rate of 1.875% and home values at all-time highs, you can get more cash out of your home or eliminate pricey mortgage insurance.
Call 317-706-GOLD today to get your refinance started within minutes and make no mortgage payments until next year.
After all, our team speaks mortgage and loves translating it for customers. We can save you even more money with our 1.875% rate.
Plus, you'll never pay up front for your appraisal at Golden Oak. Call 317-706-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Landing, join my blues.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.952% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, this is Jeff Saturday, and you've heard me talk about More Restoration for years. And yes, it's true, I've used More Restoration on my home 3 times for fire and flooding. I care about my family, and More made me feel confident in using them. Kenny and the team at More have just become part of First On Site, making them one of the largest restoration companies in Indiana and North America. Same people, same personal customer service, but large enough to handle any loss, any disaster with First On Site. When you need help, call the people Jeff Saturday calls. Call More Restoration, a First On Site company.
Hey, it's John for Connecticut Water. I'm talking, mark your calendar, 3 days of savings, all Connecticut water treatment equipment and supplies. Don't miss Connecticut's pre-Black Friday sale, November the 18th through the 20th. I'm talking once a year savings, like 6 bags of water softener salt free when you buy a Signature Series water softener, 4 bags of salt. You buy that, you get 1 absolutely free. 25% off filters and accessories. That and so much more. Pre-Black Friday event, November 18th through the 20th. 2 locations of Connecticut in Castleton, northeast side of Indianapolis, south side US 31 and Southport Road. Hey, download the Connecticut Water app, and you can get all sorts of discounts with your Connecticut accessories and more there. Or for more info, that's ConnecticutIndy.com today.
This is my favorite time of the year. As a Shane Company jewelry consultant, I get to help customers find meaningful holiday gifts. The other day, a guy came in looking for a special gift for his wife. He wanted to carry on a family tradition. He said that when he was growing up, after all the kids opened their gifts, his dad handed his mom a Shane Company gift box. It was the grand finale of Christmas Day. To carry on the tradition, he picked out a gorgeous diamond bangle bracelet for his wife. With so many options in every price range, all guaranteed for life, we make it easy to find something spectacular. And because we don't work on commission, you'll always have a fun, no-pressure experience. Come in and tell us about your family traditions, or start a new one.
Visit our store or check out our online gift guide for memorable holiday gifts that'll be treasured for a lifetime. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
When we at AmericanEagle.com were asked by our client, Repair Clinic, to, repair their website, our digital marketing experts, like Tim, rolled up their sleeves and got to work. If you know Tim, you know that he loves a good challenge, which meant that this project was pretty much the highlight of Tim's year. From improving slow-loading performance that plagued our client's site to slashing duplicate pages and building an optimized sitemap, Tim was like a real-life action hero, but of website optimization. And our client reaped the benefits with major strides in their SEO, like more traffic, impressions, and revenue. Tim and the team even help them create search and email marketing campaigns and better ongoing analytics tracking. However complex your digital challenges, from digital marketing and strategy to web development, UX, and more, talk to the experts at AmericanEagle.com. Don't just grow, soar.
Real growing hair again with PAI, 888-724-5129. Who out there would like the real hair growth option? Anybody? I'm going to raise my glass to you right here, because if you're going bald, you don't have to. You have options out there, if you want them, of your real hair growth. Talk to Darren Andrews about those options today in that private consultation. WeGrowHairEddie.com, 888-724-5129 today.
Right now at Wendy's, see why everyone is raving about their brand new fries. Natural cuts skin on with a hint of sea salt and guaranteed to be hot and crispy or they'll replace them. You know, the way fries should be. Try Wendy's guaranteed hot and crispy fries today at participating Wendy's.
As our troops are coming home, every business should be finding ways to thank and honor them for their service. We created the Hero Loan. HeroLoan.com.
NMLS number 1326-241.
Dan versus Fan, sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings app. Use code 1075FAN to get in on all the action.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man. It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, I love this. JMV at 1070, thefan.com's email address. JMV, you talk about weed all the time. I don't talk about weed all the time. Sounds like you're a big-time weed guy. I'm not a big-time weed guy. I've never been a big-time weed guy. I'm a big-time option guy, and as an old guy, I am always thinking about ways that if I've got aches and pains that I could help that out. But yeah, I don't like smoke. I'm not a smoker. I've never been a smoker. I don't want to do any of that crap. So, I don't know. Are you not worried about what you put in your body? Hey, listen, all right? This is a true story right here. You go back to my single-digit years, basically all the way up until I'm 14. And I'm drinking about a 6-pack of Big Red a day. I wasn't worried then, and I'm not worried now, honestly. Because I'm sure that the folks in Waco, with all due respect to the greatness that is Big Red and that company, probably were not standing over the top of my bottles of Big Red back in the day in lab coats saying, all right, so how can we make this more healthy for our consumers? I loved it, and I was drinking it. It gave me kidney stones, so be it. I know it. See, yeah, the vaccine. I got vaccinated. I'll get a booster, whatever. I haven't been really too worried about it before. I'm not so worried about it right now. I think I've taken, every energy, anything, get rid of your fat. If there's make it bigger pill, all of that I'd probably take. I'm not worried about it.
I've seen a needle be injected into your knee just to make it feel better.
You have, right out here.
Yep, right on the table.
Which is probably against all doctor rules out here. All health and safety protocols were violated, I'm sure. I'm not worried. I am not worried. JMV, the Seahawks did the same thing versus the Titans in Week 2. Blew a 30-16 fourth quarter lead at home. Bills also blew leads to let them come back and steal the game. Colts won't get any help from the rest of the league, and that, Carlos, is a part of the issue. Doug Thrasher says, hey, man, I don't know what's in those chicken nuggets. What's a little weed going to hurt? So I say, you eat the McRib with JMV, this vaccine, and you don't know. Well, how could you do the Johnson & Johnson? Why do you want a booster? I've eaten a McRib. What the? What else? Not worried about it. You be going to work. You be less hassle. I'm all for it. I've never been worried about that stuff. LIVIN on a daily basis. That's pretty funny, though. McNuggets, McRib. Honestly, I went into a McDonald's for the first time on Saturday to get the kids a couple of chicken sandwiches, and I couldn't even order. I go, they got kiosks and stuff, and I got to hit buttons, and wait a minute. Can I just walk up here and say, I need 2 chicken sandwiches stat? Instead, have you been in there? It's like, good God. I think I'm just going to stay at my house. Hey, JMV, I was at the game on Friday in Portland, started really slow, and I was like, all right, here we go again. But then we got it going and had a 3-4 minute stretch in the fourth quarter down the stretch where we blew it. They still haven't won here since the year I moved to Portland, and I thought I was going to be in the building when that streak ended. It's quite salty leaving the arena. It was right there for him, too. Norman Powell stuck it to him on Friday. I mean, when you look at Damian Lillard, I have to look across the board and do the numbers on this. It does seem like, and I mentioned this to Denary last week, that if you played on that Olympic team, you're in, what do they call it? Clayton Anderson, the struggle bus. You're on the struggle bus right now. That's the way that it seems. But Jason Tatum started pretty slow. Damian Lillard still looks slow right now. Did you see that picture with Lillard and David Benner out there, though? That was pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hey, quick break and we'll return. I got to hit one here. JJ top of the hour. David Bell coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Dirk's Bentley tickets inside the lounge via YouTube Live. You guys get to see my pasty white skin for the first time in a couple of weeks. Hey, soak it in on the lounge via YouTube Live. Hour 2 straight ahead next. It's the Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Make your game day experience the best it can be. Log on and get your tickets now. It's bullseyeeventgroup.com.
Celebrate the final day of horse racing in 2021 at Indiana Grand Racing and Casino with a special Veterans Day racing program Thursday, November 11th. The afternoon card will honor those who served our country with the $75,000 Salute to the Heroes Stakes. A special Pick 5 will feature world-renowned handicappers placing $250 wagers with all proceeds going to Homeless Veterans and Families, Inc. of Indiana. It's all happening only at Indiana Grand Racing and Casino. Exit 109 off I-74 in Shelbyville.
Hey, it's been a struggle until now. JMV here for the Aurora Sleep Clinic. 2 former Hoosier basketballers, Brian Evans and Dr. Steve Green, introduced me to the Aurora Sleep Clinic because they had heard about the problems I have with my bed rest. I hate not getting adequate bed rest. And I'm snoring like a freight train. I mean, it's like one of those cartoons, you know, where the guy's snoring. And like when Bluto, for example, snoring and the roof light comes off and then comes back down and comes off. That's like me at home. I mean, I'm just interrupting everybody's rest. But then Brian and Steve came to me, and here's what they set me up with. It is a simple, and I mean a simple mouthpiece that I created. They created with me too, inexpensive, that has helped me out now, and it has stopped my snoring. And you can get the same thing as well. Here's what I want you to do. Get a 7-day free trial. See how it works for you. 317-482-7900. StopYourSnoreNow.com. And for that 7-day free trial, 317-482-7900. That simple oral device helped me out. I bet it can help you. 7-day free trial today. 317-482-7900. Tell them I sent you.
2022 is almost here. Before you get swept up in the holidays and family, get the financial action plan to face your future with more confidence. Call 833-PLAN-EFE right now. Get a free Social Security and retirement review from Edelman Financial Engines. One of our experienced financial planners will partner with you to align your wealth strategy, personal goals, and cash flow to your future retirement income, including a Social Security benefits analysis. You'll know what you're doing well, where you face risk, and what you may need to do to fix things and potentially do better. Plus, your planner will create a financial plan for the rest of your life, specifically to help you reach your goals. The plan alone is an $800 value. You've worked hard to get where you are. Make your efforts go even farther. Call 833-PLAN-EFE by tonight at 10 p.m. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. Acting now can bring more peace of mind later.
Hey, it's JMV from Mark Deedle Realty, 317-755-4232. That's 317-755-4232. Online, markdeedle.com. That is markdietel.com. A lot of people doing a lot of moving and shaking right now in the housing market. Here's the one thing you need to know. You have to go with the best, and the best is Mark Deedle, and this is what I love the most because he's going to guarantee multiple offers in 3 days, or he is going to sell it for free. So whether you're downsizing or maybe you're upgrading, Mark Deedle is the one to call. Also, Rhonda on the east side of Indianapolis wanted to take advantage of a hot market and sell her rental property. She gave Mark a call and he delivered as promised. That's exactly what he does. It's Mark Deedle Realty today. Tell him I sent you. 317-755-4232. 317-755-4232. Online, markdeedle.com. That's markdietel.com today.
The holidays are doubly important this year, so make your celebrations doubly special. At Kroger, we've got a huge selection of high-quality meats on top of fresh, natural produce, like fresh, never-frozen, prime-grade beef and our Simple Truth organic Brussels sprouts, or delicious king crab legs with our private selection gourmet potatoes. Whew, had to say that doubly fast. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We're hiring for immediate openings with next-day pay, benefits, and great perks. Apply today at jobs.kroger.com.
Hey, John here for Love Heating and Air. That's shout out to John and Chris Love, by the way. Cold weather is, well, it's not here today. End of the week is going to be back here again. I want to make sure that your furnace is tuned up and safe and efficient for the winter months ahead. And right now, get that recommended service from Love Heating and Air Conditioning, and the Love family will waive a $95 trip and diagnostic fee. That's awesome. They're who I trust. Actually, they were just out the other day, too, making sure I had a bird's nest in my flue. Seriously. I can't handle a bird's nest in my flue that shuts my heat off, right? So I call the best. John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air. 317-754-0754. Love-HVAC.com today. Tell them I sent you. No bird in my flue.
Don't let erectile dysfunction rob you of your ability to perform at your best and satisfy your partner. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic now at 317-999-9000.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Hey, join me tomorrow. We're going to have Benetti. We're going to have Mike Chappell. We're going to have Coach Tom Allen. It's going to be a monster. Join me tomorrow, noon.
The Ride with JMV.
Let me tell you this. The older you do get, the more rules are going to try to get you to follow. You just got to keep living, man. LIVIN.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
You know, it's really great. Like the famous quotes that really make an impact in my life primarily have been delivered by Wooderson and Mike Damone. Is there something wrong with that? Seriously. I mean, everybody else comes up with all these incredibly historical quotes. And I live on quotes from Wooderson and Damone. I'm definitely somebody you would trust, though, right? Because of that. Does that make me a little bit more real? I'm thinking about that the other day. Whatever happens, my toes are still tapping. Mike Damone. And Wooderson. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. Good to see you guys back in there, too. I think you guys are liking it. Yeah, Stansberry's in there, too. Yeah, Vic Barks, Claude is in the house there. J-Law is even on vacation and watching too. Man, I appreciate that. Well done. Speaking of that, Letters to Cleo that I just played right there, we've got 90s coming up on Saturday too. I've got two more, then I go on Christmas music hiatus. Meaning I love me some Burl Ives, but not that much. So Christmas music hiatus, and then back on Friday of New Year's Eve for an extravaganza unlike any other in radio history, musically speaking, around here. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. By the way, David Bell, the Boilermakers, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. JJ from Valley Sports Indiana is right now the Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. You know, one of the times, and I always am outspoken about wanting to get you guys back on the road. But one of the times I really wanted it was yesterday because I wanted to hear a little bit more background. And had you heard that, been privy to it, you probably would have been able to go a little bit further with McConnell about what was being said from the stands to both he and Miles Turner at the end of that game yesterday. I wanted it. I wanted it more than you knew.
I wanted it too, JMV, and it was one of those things is, as you've acknowledged, you can't really tell what's been happening. And I did not know there had been any chirping going on during the game, but it's obvious that there was. And, you know, McConnell's the kind of guy that when he gets it going, he's going to talk to anybody that will listen. So I think when he hit a couple of shots, I thought he was looking at one of the benches, but it does at least look like that there was something going on with one of the fans in the stands. And so I, of course, brought that up in the first question, but it is also tough when you're not able to look someone in the eye and get a really good interview like that. And then he knows he has to calm down and not say anything he'll regret in that situation. But, yeah, I think in person I could have gotten a little more out of what was actually being said. But Miles and TJ looked like they were pretty fired up.
Yeah, I mean, and it looked like TJ went to the opposite corner after, I think, a baseline turnaround jumper toward the end of the game. And then Miles, I think, was maybe behind where Luke Walton was sitting or behind the scores table or something over in that area. That's the way it looks to me.
Yeah, well, that crowd in the third quarter looked pretty dead, and maybe they were just in line at the concession stands. But once the Kings started making their run, it got to be a pretty intense atmosphere, and it was one of those things the Pacers had to overcome. So I'm not sure when that started and what exactly was said, but if it motivated the Pacers in any way and allowed them to get that elusive first road win, we'll take it.
Hey, seriously, though, we come from Indiana, and we're allowed to evaluate it this way. And I know you're thinking the same thing. And because he's talented and it goes in, but how in this world did Tyrese Halliburton learn to shoot like that? What the hell?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it does take him a little while to wind up. It's like the quarterback that has the slow release. And
I mean, if you watch he and McConnell have a shoot off, we would have to close our eyes.
They would have to have more time in the 3-point shootout because they would only get to the middle rack of basketball. But you know what, on that inbounds play, they created enough room that he had time to wind up and let it go, and I almost didn't like it that he had that good luck.
And he missed everything. It's almost like you're better off not coming out at him because that may have messed him up because there was really no defensive pressure there on that shot.
Yeah, and he's also a young guy, and until you've really hit a big shot like that late in the game, it's harder than it looks, and there's different things that creep into your head. And you're right, if you're that open, you think about it a little bit more. And, truthfully, he was probably 28 feet, so it wasn't exactly a layup by any means, but I was surprised to see it not hit iron.
So, JJ from Valley Sports Indiana on the Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. The Pacers with their first road win yesterday afternoon in Sacramento. Wednesday and Thursday to close out the Western Road Swing in Denver and Utah, respectively. Was yesterday a good example of what we had hoped to see with Rick Carlisle being able to coach this group, and be just more valuable at a point to where it could lead them to a win more so than maybe what we saw a year ago? Because, the kind of slowing down the fast break tempo, I thought, in large part, played a huge role in why they ended up winning that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this actually started before the game in my interview with Coach Carlo. And I think up to this point this season, he's been really open and honest and answering questions and giving a little bit of insight into what the game plan is. So if you're watching and you can tune in early, I advise it because it's not all just coach speak coming from him. And he told me in that interview that he didn't want to get into a windshield wiper type of game where you're running back and forth up and down the court with the Kings, that if you have the opportunity, you take it. But in general, you want to keep this game at a manageable pace. And you look at the box score, 0 fast break points. You might think that's a bad thing. I'm guessing Rick Carlisle was perfectly fine with that. Now, he's not necessarily happy with the number of turnovers, and that's something that has to get corrected. But he wanted to see this game in the 90s or maybe around 100 and not see Sacramento hit shots get the crowd into the game, and play a game that's the windshield wiper type of game. So I thought he had a pretty good description of that, and then he acknowledged it after the game that the players really bought into the game plan. So it does feel like that was a specific plan and a coaching strategy for that game, that he wanted them to slow the game down a little bit. He's not going to say every single game moving forward, let's play a slow-down game, but against the Kings, with some injuries, without Malcolm Brogdon, that's what he thought this team needed to do to be successful, and I think he was right.
Yeah, and in closing on this, too, it kind of felt like Luke Walton was playing along because he, and I know Quinn had mentioned this in the broadcast, that it may have been about his lack of defensive awareness, he being Buddy Hield, but man, he was stroking it. He was on fire, and Walton would take him out of the game. I was kind of thinking, maybe it's more offense than worrying about the defense at this point, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened because I was surprised when Quinn mentioned that. Yeah, wait, Hield's not in the game, and this is a guy that normally you think the Kings want him to shoot whenever, and he did make 5 of 12, so I think in any night you're okay as a coach. If your guy shoots 12, if he makes 5 from outside the arc, you're pretty much okay with that. I can only assume there were some defensive breakdowns and maybe some times whether he was switched or matched up on McConnell, I'm not for certain, but he was getting into the basket, getting close to the rim, and maybe he made a defensive lapse there. But they're still trying to figure some things out as well. They've got Marvin Bagley III sitting there doing nothing, and he's a talented player, but he's not really been able to have a successful start to his NBA career. So I think Luke Walton may still be in the teaching phase as well this season with his team.
Hey, JJ, does Brogdon get a food poisoning? What's the nature of the illness non-COVID related?
I don't know. The only thing that we know, and obviously not being there, I know a little bit less than I would, but that he got sick Thursday night, tried to go to shoot around. They sent him back home and was just really uncomfortable all day Friday, stayed back at the hotel. And even on Friday night, when you had the acknowledgement that it wasn't a full 48 hours between Friday's game and Saturday's game, it just felt like Rick Carlisle expressed his doubt. So he must have been really sick, but at that point, he was already, I think, optimistic about Wednesday. And so I don't know what kind of illness, food poisoning, maybe something you would think of naturally that would get you that kind of sick and dehydrated. But it is nice, I'll say, even from my perspective, not even traveling, the first time all season to have this day off Monday and a day off Tuesday, 2 straight days without games. So they should be fresh, and I don't have any information on Brogdon, but I can't imagine, unless he's got something really, really bad, that he wouldn't be available on Wednesday.
So I'm not going to put at the top of one of our podcasts here, JJ says that Brogdon needed to stay close to the toilet.
No, it was probably coming out one end or the other. I just don't know which one. Exactly.
That's normally the case. Yes, that is.
Yeah.
See, I'm disappointed that both Chris and Quinn did not allude to that during the broadcast yesterday.
Well, Chris won't. Bodily fluids are not Chris's thing. I mean, he sees a drop of blood and he gets all squeamish. So I don't think he wants to talk about throwing up or anything else either.
Yeah, no doubt. It's JJ with us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. We've been over this a ton, and I don't want to get too deep into it. But since that time where Carlisle was trying to feel out, the two bigs and Miles and Domas and Miles sat a lot, it seems like to me, and this has always come with the territory with Miles Turner. Whenever he's playing well, he does look incredibly comfortable. When he is not, it looks like he'd rather be anywhere at times than out there. But I will say this, it looks like that he is in a comfort zone. And I'm going to tell you what, give Rick Carlisle Coach of the Year if he is able to lengthen that comfort zone for more than a week or a 2-week or a 3-week period, because nobody really has. But Miles has looked as comfortable without scoring at times, looked comfortable in scoring, looked comfortable as being a go-to guy in some different moments, as comfortable as I can remember. Would you agree?
I do agree, and I want to go back to something that happened about a week ago, maybe a little bit less than that. Miles had that 25-point game, and he was asked a rather innocuous question after the game about Miles being involved offensively. It was, I think, that game where he had the first 8 points, hit that shot clock beating 3. And Rick Carlisle wanted to put a stop to that question and the topic, because I don't think he wants Miles Turner thinking, I've got to score to be successful. And so many times a player will look at a box score. It doesn't matter what age, high school, junior high, NBA. If you look at the box score and you're not in double figures, then you automatically think I must be doing something wrong. And so, yeah, Miles had 25 points in that one particular game, but Rick Carlisle wanted the point to be known and to get to Miles, and he even reiterated the next day at practice that, let's get past this whole Miles involved offensively. He's an elite rim protector. He can still impact the game positively in that way. And then he's talked since then about what Miles has been able to do offensively, especially with his outside shooting. But I think that's the main point. And Miles scored 40 points the first week of the season, and he told people he wanted people to get used to that. I'm guessing Rick Carlisle didn't want to hear that.
I'm sure.
He knows he can do so many other things. He doesn't want him thinking, I've got to be the scorer, because if he's trying to get that many points, it's probably taking him out of his game a little bit. I would say that he has to be involved at least in some part offensively, or like you said, he doesn't feel comfortable. But the last week, he's played really well. He's played consistent. And the other thing is, he's rebounding probably at a better level than I can recall in his time with the Pacers. I mean, he's really going after it.
Yep.
He's grabbing those. Rebounding is not going to be in the list of things he does well. It's not, going to be top 2 or 3, but it has to be, 3rd or 4th maybe. Shot blocking and outside shooting are his 2 real strengths, but he's got to be able to rebound, and he's been doing that a lot better than I can recall in his time with the Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, 8.5 at least in the early portion of the season is his average. I will say this about Rick Carlisle. I thought maybe when asking that question, and he really didn't want to hear it, I think he kind of played into that with how he was utilizing Miles, or feeling out how to utilize Miles early in the season. You know what I mean? Because I think the way that he was being utilized, and a lot of bench time at the end of games and certain moments, kind of led to a question like that being asked. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think it's also the first 2 or 3 weeks in the season. He doesn't want to get into one of these, and it's something you kind of have to do when you're on the air for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, that you analyze what happened in the recent game. But I don't think he wants it to be every day a game ends or a pregame show interview, and what did Miles do? What could he do better? Because he is going to have some games that he doesn't score that many points, or he maybe doesn't play well, and it doesn't mean it needs to be a referendum on who he is as a player. So I think he wants to kind of get past that. As some national writers have come in, they've tried to ask the question about the 2 bigs, and I think he answered, even though he hasn't been around for the last 6 or 7 years, he said, I think we're kind of over that here. So it's a topic that's tough to bring up. But to your point, the fourth quarters are something that Rick Carlisle is still feeling out. We've seen different rotations almost every single game, to start fourth quarters, to finish fourth quarters. He's taking it on a game-by-game basis. But I think one thing you're seeing is he's still getting used to having both of them out there defensively in critical situations. And so last night, for instance, Miles Turner was playing well. He and Sabonis were both on the court. Domas got a little bit of foul trouble. He had 5, but he didn't really rush him back in, even though he could have. You have to hope that Domas is okay with that and trusts the coaching staff in that situation to do the right thing. And then there's going to be nights, as we have seen already this season, where Miles doesn't play much in the fourth quarter. And that, not to say unfortunately, but I do think that's kind of how the way it may go. And you hope that these guys, are thinking about the team, and you can win enough to where it's not a big deal.
I'll tell you the one thing that stood out at the end. I mean, the officiating was lousy toward the end of the game yesterday. Good God. Lousy.
I'll give Chris a lot of credit. There's times I'm now right beside him, so I'm watching the games and I'm trying to be quiet, and I'm kind of making some motions, and I'm kind of slapping my hand on my thigh, and he stays on point. Quinn, I see analyze at times whether he sees that that's good or bad or not. But I can imagine if I was the play-by-play person, occasionally I would opine a little more than I think Chris does at some of those calls.
Yeah, if you're going to be the best in the world to describe as such, you got to be better than that. LeVert was fouled 3 times on what was that, the next to last, or one of the final 3 possessions? Literally 3 times going to the hoop.
Yeah,
I mean it
and the Pacers.
So
the Pacers got in the penalty the first 2 or 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, and sometimes I think that actually is not a good thing because the officials notice that, and then they say, oh, wait, we got to either even it up pretty quickly or make sure that this team isn't going to go to the free throw line every time, when you want them to just call a foul if it's a foul.
And these guys are given timeouts when they break wind. How in the world were they not given a timeout there? How did they jump that up? I mean, good Lord.
I agree with that. Not being able to see at the time that the bench would have.
Hey, listen, you're just like me now. I mean, now we see it just fine where we are. It's the best in the world screwing crap up. And that's what they do.
Well, I didn't like the fact that it came down to a jump ball, and then they had to throw it up again.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they got the ball, and they called timeout. I was like, here we go again. And you can't help but think at times watching it's Groundhog Day when the Pacers have had so many of these road games come down to, you think about early in the game when Buddy Hield throws in that shot from half court. I mean, the Pacers seem to lead the league in, guys throwing in crazy shots or banking in three-pointers on the road. So whatever happens, you overcome all that, you get a win, and you pack your bags and you head to Denver. And 4-7 is not where they wanted to be, but it sure beats 3-8 right now.
Let me tell you this too, and let's go ahead and do what we do if we're the NBA officials. The worst is throw up a jump ball lob twice. Let's do that twice here. See if we can't let that figure out. I mean, really, and Halliburton the dude got a wide open look, wide open.
Yep.
So, anyway, I'm glad I got to let that out a little bit because those guys drive me nuts. They just drive me nuts. Not all the time, but some of the time.
Yeah. I don't think it's a job I would want to have, but there are times late in games where it can get a little bit frustrating. But we're probably just a little bit biased.
You know what? Maybe I am too, but that little guy from Purdue and Muncie seems like he's pretty good at times. What's his name? The little local NBA official he's about 5 feet tall.
Oh. Right.
No, not Zach Zarba sucks. I don't like him at all. No, who's what the hell's that guy's name? JJ, you don't know who the guy that went to Purdue and from Muncie?
Is it Ford?
Yeah, Tyler Ford.
Tyler Ford.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he seems like that at times he's all right.
He's good. He's from Ball State. I mean, that explains it all to me.
I don't know if that means anything, but yeah.
I know he came up through the Ball State intramural program, and you get good training.
Let's point this out. You got Tyler Ford from Ball State and Nate Green from Indiana State. So if you know that there's going to be somebody that's going to call the game right from the best in the world, it will be those two, right?
And don't forget about Haywood Workman.
Yeah, Haywood Workman.
You got a pacer.
And Leon Wood. Leon Wood was on the 84 Olympic team. So, yeah, I mean, you need more guys from around here that have been a part of this fabric.
I wonder if they would ever give the Pacers Tyler Ford, Nate Green, and Haywood Workman on one crew.
Can you imagine? I don't know.
But I think all three of those guys, there's no bias, obviously. We're joking about this. I mean, they would call the game as it is, and Haywood Workman, there have been times I've watched him and been like, come on, didn't you wear a Pacers uniform? So, yeah. They moved on to another stage of their career.
Denver coming up, not tomorrow night, but Wednesday night. They got to go back-to-back. That to me, is one of the, if not the most difficult back-to-back on the schedule. Back-to-back nights in Denver and Salt Lake City.
One thing that I will say is good, and when I've been traveling, the Pacers always try to figure out a way to get to Denver early to acclimate to the altitude, because I think you feel it even more there than you do in Salt Lake City, but you've got some of that to deal with in Salt Lake City as well. The team flew to Denver last night, so they'll have last night, tonight, tomorrow night. You would like to think, even though I've heard at times you have to get your second wind in a game in Denver, so that's tough, but you have the time. And then it seems like the Pacers are always playing Utah in the second half of a back-to-back. So that is tough. You saw they lost to Miami. I think they're the best. They have the best chance of being the number one seed in the Western Conference, because if they can stay healthy, they've got the continuity. They know what they're doing. They care about winning regular season games. So that'll be a big challenge, and that's why the Pacers really needed to get that win against Sacramento. For some reason, and I know the Pacers until a year or two ago didn't have a lot of success in Denver, I still go into that matchup not to say intimidated is the right word, but thinking the Pacers have a good shot. For whatever reason, I think they can match up well with the Nuggets. Right now, the teams that scare me are those teams like the Raptors and the Bucks when they're fully healthy. Maybe that's just fresh in my memory, but I don't go into this Denver-Utah situation, especially the Denver one. I don't see any reason why the Pacers can't compete, and if they get Malcolm Brogdon back, they're going to be as healthy as they have been all season. Jeremy Lamb is still probably trying to get back into the flow of things, but there's a good chance they go into this one with pretty much everyone with the exception of T.J. Warren and Isaiah Jackson.
It's funny in closing, JJ. You think about some of the shots. You brought up Buddy Hield to beat the clock yesterday, and you think back to Van Vliet in a huge moment down the stretch in a game that the Pacers, coulda, shoulda, woulda won. Did LaMelo Ball banked in 2 threes, did he not, against the Pacers in that opener?
Yeah.
I mean, they have been hosed by some ridiculous shots. There's no doubt about that. So,
and you're 4-7. Just if you win, let's say you just win 2 of those other 4 road games, that you're right there and you have a chance to close out, or maybe 2 of the 3, right? Because the Raptors game was not going to be a win, but 2 of those 3, and you're all of a sudden having a different perspective on the start of the year. So everyone always tries to say 20 games in you can evaluate a team. I want to give the Pacers 25-30 because coming up in December, I think they have a stretch of 9 out of 10 at home. So let's get through this road-heavy portion. Let's try to get healthy. Let's see how they start by mid-December. I think you might have a better idea of what this team is.
So Shoe Guy sent me this. Tyler Ford is the worst NBA ref. Dude is on a power trip because he is small in stature. He was that way in rec league basketball, Ball State. Shoe Guy's not a fan of Tyler Ford.
Well, we've had way too much referee discussion on this interview, John.
You're not allowed to say anything, so I'm glad you don't.
Let the record state that I didn't.
Well, yes, he did not say a word about the officiating. That is all me. I love to tweet at NBA official or whatever that is. That's fun. Because last night I said, you guys got to, normally you guys are lousy, but you got 3 lousy ones working. Way to go, Sacramento. Nice job. I shouldn't do that.
97-94. That's all I'm going to remember from that game.
Always a blast, man. Always a blast. I appreciate it more.
94-91. I even had the score wrong. It was a 3-point win.
Hey, you got Wednesday and Thursday, and then the Pacers back home against Philly. So Miles gets Gobert, and Embiit's got COVID. How long is he going to miss? Is he going to miss Saturday? Is he going to miss Saturday? I got my fingers crossed. That'll save my Twitter.
Say that exactly. Maybe so. If he misses time, and I think they've got some other guys in contact tracing or something. I don't know what they're doing exactly with it right now. Does Ben Simmons get a chance to come back? They're going to have to start playing him.
I don't know. Well, hey, one final thing here. You think the man with 2 brains is having a blast in Philly right now? Pete Dinwiddie?
Well, they are winning games, and he is not the one that has to make all the calls. I don't imagine he's having to have a lot of communication with Ben. I'm guessing that's basically front office with.
I haven't talked to him, but he was hired before they hired Daryl Morey. And I'm assuming he probably didn't know that. And I kind of wonder, because you got Elton Brand and Daryl Morey. I can't imagine Daryl Morey's a thrill, a joy, if you will, to work with. I don't know. I'm just guessing. And I just am kind of curious because I haven't talked to him in a while. And I'd like to hear what happens with him in Philly, because you're right. He is not the essential decision maker, but how this past year has been for him. I'd love to know.
Well, the person that I would love to talk to off the record and get his thoughts on the last year or two would be Dan Burke. So we know he's in Philadelphia as well. There are a lot of connections, but I can only imagine what Dan Burke thinks about some of the soap opera stuff that they've been dealing with the last year or two.
I bet that'd be pretty unfiltered. So that'd be good there.
Right. Just like a halftime interview.
Not bad at all. All right, we'll be watching coming up on Wednesday and Thursday night, JJ. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
It's Jeremiah Johnson, Fox. Almost said it, didn't I? Bally Sports, Indiana. I feel good because I'm the one that's going to make fun of the NBA officiating. That's going to be me. It's always going to be me. So I wasn't trying to drag him into that. And the other thing I didn't want to do is bring up the whole TV thing, because there's zero that these guys have to do with it. None. Not one thing. They are there to give you content. Now, one thing. Yeah, I saw this Indy judge says, hey, speaking of Indiana State, Tyreek Key out for the year with shoulder surgery. This is not going to be, and I still love Indiana State. I miss my man Greg Lansing. I think everybody knows that, including Greg. But I'm always going to give my full 100% support to Indiana State. This has the makings of not an enjoyable year win-loss wise. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm absolutely surprised. But that is kind of how it feels a little bit. It's a little bit. Hopefully not. Hey, we'll come back. If you're on YouTube Live, thank you for watching Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live. Indy Judge, thank you for that. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with your calls. David Bell, 5:30. Race Trash, Anything Goes, 5 o'clock. Dirks Bentley at some point. 93.5, 107.5. The stream, the app, crystal clear. HD Radio 2. That's 93 WIBC HD Radio 2. If you have that in your car, check it out. It's crystal clear. Back with you next.
Don't let erectile dysfunction rob you of your ability to perform at your best and satisfy your partner. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic now at 317-999-9000.
Well, Ryan Kelly is the home loan expert, and you can reach him at 317-550-1515 or just go to thehomeloanexpert.com. And, Ryan, there are a lot of Hoosier families out there right now worried about money. You offer a cash-out refinance option that can help take those worries away.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, Big Joe, it's probably one of our most popular loans right now. Sure, we're doing a lot of purchases and helping people get into the home of their dreams. And we're doing a lot of those easy rate and term refinances where we just go in and lower your interest rate. But I mean it when I tell you, probably the most popular loan we're doing right now is that cash out refinance. And why wouldn't it be? Think about it. Mortgage interest rates are sitting near these 50-year lows. And we're locking loans in the low 2% range. And home values are skyrocketing, which means you have a ton of equity just sitting there. Apply for an easy cash-out refinance. Pay off those high-interest rate credit cards. Make those home improvement projects a reality, or just stick some cash in the bank. Apply today at thehomeloanexpert.com. Thanks, Big Joe.
I want you to party coming up Sunday before the Jaguars game. Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. That's bullseyeeventgroup.com. Get your passes right now. All you can eat, all you can drink. And you've got DJ Skids and DJ Helicon in the Bullseye Event Center. If you guys went there on Thursday, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was a blast, and it will once again be a blast for you. Just log on, get your passes right now. If you don't have tickets to the game, combo it up and get tickets to the game, too, with our good friends at bullseyeeventgroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Going to be a chilly morning anyway. Climate controlled inside the Bullseye Event Center. Get your passes now. bullseyeeventgroup.com.
Fall in Indy, and for 20 years, Rhino Shield's been covering your neighbor's homes like your neighbor Rich.
Aluminum siding built in 1961. It also had a lot of stains, and it was white, and we wanted to change the color.
And Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
You know, we're told that it's hard to paint aluminum siding and get a good adhesion with regular paint, so Rhino Shield was great.
You too can help Rhino Shield celebrate 20 years of covering Indiana homes for 20% off the regular price.
They came on a Saturday and power washed everything all around the house. And then they came back and did all the work on Monday and Tuesday. And in 2 full days, they worked on a Monday and were completely done by Tuesday.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
It's JMV, 5-game NFL Week 9 tonight. This Monday Night Football. FanDuel Sportsbook wants you to make the most out of every play, and all you got to do is bet a same-game parlay bet, 3 legs and more, and if your bet doesn't win, FanDuel will pay you back up to $10. That Monday Nighter, Bears on the road at Pittsburgh. What do you want to do? Something with Justin Fields or Roethlisberger? I think that's what I'll do tonight, too. Maybe a little Claypool or Roethlisberger connection right there as a part of the same game parlay. Do that and use that promo code JMV to also receive a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That promo code JMV so they know who sent you. 21 plus and present in Indiana. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Same game parlay available for multiple sports in all states on mobile or web. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
When it comes to working at Geico, our best advocates are our employees, like Maxine. But since she is so focused on growing her career, we hired an actor to read her story.
At Geico, I love mentoring the new associates to help them make this a career and not just a job.
And with new opportunities and job stability, Geico has been helping people grow their careers for over 75 years. The only downside, she still hasn't met the gecko. Where are you, fella?
Ready to start your career, Indy? We're hiring claim sales and service agents. Apply online today at geico.job/Indy.
You've undoubtedly heard of the calm before the storm. Well, Michaelis is the calm after the storm. More than 3 decades of restoring damage from wind, rain, and hail. They've got your back, not to mention your front, side, and roof. It's why home and business owners beat a path to Michaelis' door, because it's always answered around the clock with welcome arms. Your port in the storm. From site security and tarping services to complete restoration work, they can handle anything Mother Nature throws your way. Seasoned and trustworthy pros who are never deterred by a little wind and rain, or a mother load of it for that matter. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
The non-stop action of tennis takes center court at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Bet Rivers serves up an exciting tennis betting experience like no other, with a massive number of live in-game betting options, including point-by-point betting. But don't just bet on the game live. Watch it live. Bet Rivers Sportsbook live streams a huge number of tour events from around the world throughout the tennis season. Try it today, and Bet Rivers will match your first deposit up to $250. It's a winner. Bet on tennis at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Go now to BetRivers.com. Must be 21 or over to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-844.
The Ride with JMV.
Can I buy you guys a drink? Guess not.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Jeremiah Johnson, Valley Sports, Indiana. I'll podcast that thing up for you. David Bell, the Boilermakers, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. 5:30, Race Trash, Anything Goes at 5. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out via YouTube Live. JMV, could you say live what stats in the first half of the Jets game was passing and rushing? What'd you write? Could you say live what Jesus stats in the first half? I don't know what you mean. Ari says, 10 days minimum for Embiid. So he will miss that game on Saturday here when Philly welcomes the Pacers back to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Yeah, man, how about you look at Ruggs and Arnett were the 2 first-round picks for the Raiders year before last? Is that true?
That's true.
Where was Arnett?
He was, I'm going to say, early 20s. He was their pick.
What in the hell was he doing, too? So,
both for stupid reasons, too.
The incredibly awful thing in decision-making with Ruggs, and then just the knucklehead with Arnett. Nate Thomas writes this, JMV, I don't blame JJ or the Pacers for the current situation in TV, but media should be letting Sinclair know that their greed is causing a lot of fans to drop services. Now, I want to ask you this, Nate, because I don't know. Nate, could you get DirecTV and then have it? Because I'm not here. I've had DirecTV for the better part of 21 years or whatever it is, right? And they all have warts. All these services have their issues. There's going to be something great about one thing and then something incredibly awful about the other. There's nothing that is perfect, at least for me. Like right now, I got a problem. I don't. Anybody else have this issue? Probably not, because it's me. Like on my remote in the living room, if I hit 59, which is Fox 59, let's say I'm going to a college football game on a Saturday night, or I'm going to an NFL game on Sunday. When I hit the 9, it hits 599, which is the Hustler channel. So, hey, the entire family's in the living room, and I'm going to, let's watch the game. I'm going to put it on 59, and it goes 599, and the Hustler channel pops up. And it's not like I don't buy it, right? So there's no nudity or a graphic nudity, anything like that, but it does give the title of what's on. And the title's enough. The title's enough. Like, hey, I'm going to get to 59 because, the NFL's on today and, there's no Colts game, 59, all $5.99. And it'd be like Genital Hospital or something. What? You got to fix that. I don't know if that's me or them. I'm going to blame them, though. It can't be me. Yeah, right to the Hustler. Hey, I want Fox 59. I'm not going to the... So I don't know if they're keeping track somewhere. They're probably saying, man, this guy's on the Hustler channel all the time.
They probably do that on purpose for people here in Indianapolis. They make that mistake and then, I'll stick around here for a little bit.
I mean, hey, Dad, I thought you were going to... I thought you were going to the Chiefs-Packers game, not, what's this shaving run? So then I got a 10-minute conversation explaining that. So I'm going to blame them. There's nothing, I guess, there's nothing perfect. And for me, Nate, I just go with DirecTV because I know it's going to be there. My mom changed to DirecTV down in GC because she knows it's going to be there. And with whatever the hell the other thing was, it wasn't. So that's my determining factor. And I'm not suggesting that should be anybody else's, but it sure as hell is mine. So they give me the most of what I want, and I pay out the nose, and it's ridiculous, and it's stupid, and I should kick my own ass for doing it at times, but I know that everything is going to be there. No, my remote. You think the 9's sticky? My 9 is sticky. $5.99. Look up on DirecTV $5.99. See what pops up there. Ha! No pun intended. Oh, that's great. You see what I'm talking about right there? What is it? Hustler Channel? I got to get a new remote. See, that stuff would be funny if I didn't have to explain it out now. Now I got to explain it. And like it's blacked out, so you don't see anything. But you still see the title. And that's what you end up explaining. David Bell, the Boilermaker, is going to join us coming up at the bottom of the 5 o'clock hour. Race Trash, Anything Goes. That is at the top. Colts Roundtable Live at 6. And inside IU basketball, did anybody go down to the guy that helped set that up? He's one of the Hoosier Hysterics. Actually, he had texted me a couple of times, and I had brought it up last week. But did anybody go down to that? It looked like that it was different from what Hoosier Hysteria or the regular Midnight Madnesses. It looked like it was a little bit more fan-oriented. You going to $5.99 right there? Nah, $5.99, that's Spectrum, though. That's not going to come up on there. Did they fix they get the TV back and working order now? Good. Yeah, DirecTV $5.99. You don't want to hit that 9 twice if you're going to 59 on the keypad. Not in front of the family. Ooh, I like this a lot. Mark Sion of Big Green Egg, and actually Denny Smith of the WIBC Saturday morning show, of which I call in nearly every Saturday. Turkey Fest at Sullivan. So you got Turkey Fest at Sullivan's Hardware and Garden coming up Saturday. I think I'm down with Turkey Fest. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, Denny had actually sent me a note on that over the weekend, and I think I'm going to have to make that. Turkey Fest sounds good to me with our friends from the Big Green Egg. James says this, don't push the guide button either. There are a whole lot more to explain than that. That's so true. Claude Banks says, Genital Hospital got me weak as hell. Hey, Dad, what's a genital hospital? Nothing. Nothing. They just spelled it wrong. Hey, quick one. We got Race Trash, Anything Goes, top of the hour. Sit tight for that, and David Bell at 5:30.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra returns to Indianapolis December 22nd with 2 shows at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Tickets are on sale now. Details at 1075thefan.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. This year, our average client saved over $350 a month with an easy rate reduction refinance. What would you do with an extra $350 a month? Buy a new car? Pay down the credit cards? Or possibly take the family on that much-needed vacation? We are locking loans in the 2s. How much could you save? Let's find out today. Visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, it's LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. Lance and his local team, 2 things that I and you absolutely love. The best and local. And that's what Lance and LD Smith Plumbing, that's who they are. The best at what they do. No matter your plumbing situation, no matter the level of urgency, they got you covered at 317-284-9526. They're the best, and they are local. You know how I feel about the local folks around here, and especially Lance and his team. You're not going to find anybody better. So the large plumbing jobs, small, and especially the emergencies, because at some point we're all going to have a plumbing emergency. Make sure that somebody great and local has your back, like Lance and his team at LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526. That's online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Hey, guys, no pressure here. But if you really want to make this the best holiday ever, ask her already. What's more romantic than a holiday proposal? Come to Shane Company to see our amazing selection of unique engagement rings, crafted to last forever. Our warranty is free for a lifetime, and it even covers the center stone. No matter your budget, we'll help you create the perfect ring. We also have rings already set with a center stone, ready to go. And let's talk about center stones. All of our diamonds are conflict-free and natural, handpicked for their beauty. And Tom Shane personally selects our rubies and sapphires in Bangkok. We have so many center stones to choose from. Plus, we're a direct importer, which means we pass the savings on to you. All right, guys, make it happen.
Book a virtual or an in-store appointment with a non-commissioned jewelry consultant, or just drop by the store. Check our website for hours. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Hey, it's JMV. Need game tickets for the Colts game? Buy Colts tickets today at bullseyeeventgroup.com. Need tickets to the Colts VIP tailgate? Buy them today at bullseyeeventgroup.com. So you need tickets to the Colts game and tickets to the Colts VIP tailgate? Buy your game tickets today and add the VIP tailgate to make it a Colts ticket and tailgate combo. Buy today at bullseyeeventgroup.com. It's the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Get your tickets now. bullseyeeventgroup.com.
Hun, have you seen this internet bill? Why'd the price go up?
I don't know. Did you change anything?
No. Did you? You switched us to those fancy coffee beans. Maybe you're on a roll, making everything more expensive. Did you suddenly inherit money you didn't tell me about?
Whoa.
If your internet bill is giving you trust issues, you're not a bad partner. You just need a straightforward price.
Maybe we switch to decaf.
Get AT&T Fiber. Equipment fees are included, and with no price increase at 12 months, there are no surprises. Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/faster.
All right, somebody you can trust, JMV here, especially if you're going to get into the housing market, no matter your situation. We've gone over this before, too, because Mark Dietl's the absolute best at it. I talked to Mark over the weekend, and he's still doing what he always has done. It's called being the best. And whether you're downsizing or upgrading, 317-755-4232, markdietl.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com today. So Cora and Indy wanted a bigger house in the suburbs, needed to maximize the price on his old home to make the financing work. Got in touch with Mark, and he knew he had the right plan in place to do it, and boom. Sold the house, $35,000 over the asking price right there. That's what Mark Dietl can do for you. In fact, the only agent who guarantees multiple offers in 3 days for full market value, or he's going to sell it for free. That's Mark Dietl. If you're thinking about doing this, go with the best. Mark Dietl Realty, 317-755-4232, 317-755-4232. That's online, markdietl.com, markdietel.com today.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
It's the most wonderful time of the year when the weather is cold and holiday parties are coming soon. Turn your annual holiday party up a notch and host it at Twin Peaks, an unforgettable experience that might be tough to remember. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Our first plan to spice up the NFL season was to add man-eating tigers to the game. We lost a lot of great players that day, and that was my bad. Now I'm bringing you the Caesars Sportsbook app. It's got live in-game betting, parlays, and Caesars rewards, people. It's even better than Tiger Ball.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
The Pacers are in Denver to take on the Nuggets. Wednesday night at 8:30 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Nachos, lemon heads, my dad's both. You won't go down cause my
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Colts Roundtable Live's at 6 tonight. We got a Raise Trash Anything Goes top of the hour. Litzy writes this: I woke up in such a good mood, I don't know what the hell happened. That's another great Damone quote. I said this a little bit earlier. Everybody else, quotes the all-time history-making greats. Washington, Lincoln, Einstein. I quote Damone and Wooderson. Jason Ellis chimes in with this: my DTV remote is similar, except the 3-key doesn't always work, so either I get channel 1 instead of 13, or 1 get channel 133, which is pay-per-view movies. Yeah, 59's problematic on mine, because it sends me to 5.99 every time, which is the Hustler channel. I mean, if I were 25, it wouldn't be problematic, but 51 is problematic. 51 with kids, and that's problematic. So that has been an issue. JMV, I heard you talking to JJ about the Pacers. That was impressive, finally down the stretch for that first road win. Do you think that they are on the path to being a better team? I'd like to hope so, but I just don't know. I mean, when you see Brogdon, re-enter the situation here, we'll see how they look. Like, everybody thinks, what about Miles? And Miles is on. Miles has been up and down, the entirety of his career. He is rebounding better. Make no mistake about that. And other than when Carlisle sat him a couple of different times, I think he's played well. I'm assuming you would take these numbers, 14.5 and 8.5. Or is that not enough? Still too much? Well, I shouldn't say too much, but not enough. He's still going to do more. You see LeVert kind of rounding back into shape. Duarte at 16 per has he's been smooth. I mean, he's fun to watch. He doesn't do anything. He plays the game at such a smooth, balanced level. There's nothing that, jumps out at you. But he has been fantastic as a rookie for this team. 15 yesterday in Sacramento. 16 a game for Duarte. And man, did the Pacers front office need that. All we do is sit around here talking about TJ Leaf and, hey, is Goga ever going to be this or Goga ever going to be that? All these swings and the misses, and what everybody talked about before the draft is Duarte's 24. You can't do it. Why would you want that? He has been perfect for this team. All right, for your information, voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, Colts Roundtable Live is at 6 o'clock. And normally they go with Frank Reich, the head coach. But tonight is going to be Colts general manager Chris Ballard. So Chris Ballard, Colts Roundtable Live with the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. Hey, they still owe us, by the way, Michael Pittman Jr. Do they know that? Does Matt Conti know that? Matt Conti, you owe us Michael Pittman Jr. Or we knew Jonathan Taylor, too, but Michael Pittman Jr. is who we're kind of holding out for because we haven't talked to him in a while. Jonathan Taylor right now, I brought this up over the weekend. I think it holds true. You know, as far as the elite, singular offensive players of the NFL, non-quarterback division, how many would you select right now over Jonathan Taylor?
Running backs, I don't think anyone other than Derrick Henry. You might take some wide receivers over a running back right now, more valuable position. But it's not a long list.
No, it's not. And he's catapulted himself up there fairly quickly, too. So anyway, Colts Roundtable Live with Matt Taylor, voice of the Colts tonight. You'll have the usual suspects there, along with Joe Wrights and Rick Venturi and Chris Ballard, Colts general manager. I think at the top of that, 6 o'clock, Colts Roundtable Live coming up later on tonight. David Bell's scheduled to be with us coming up at the bottom of the 5. Dirk's Bentley tickets to give away, too. I'll do that at the end of the show. And coming up next, we've got Race Trash. Anything goes. You guys set for it? You know the drill, right? You call in, you don't get set up. Kyle just immediately puts you on hold, and you just take off on anything that you want. Racetrash.com. Anything goes at 239-1070. Let's hear what you have to say next.
Touchdown, Naeem Hines. Jonathan Taylor, touchdown. Inside throw to Jack Doyle, touchdown. Touchdown, Jonathan Taylor, 78 yards to the house.
Everyone needed that, and the weekend off, too. This Sunday, Urban Meyer and the Jags come to town.
Yeah, baby.
Pre-game coverage starts at 10, kickoff at 1 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Your home for Colts football.
Hey, John here for Big Red Liquors. Big giveaway in November. You guys ready? Sure you are. How about an opportunity at a $500 Visa gift card just in time for the holiday season? You can swing by any of the Indiana 59 Big Red Liquors locations and sign up. There's no purchase necessary, but you got to be 21. How about it? November holiday shopping season, just in time to win a $500 Visa gift card courtesy of Big Red Liquors. Again, no purchase necessary, but you do have to be 21. Stop by any of the 59 Indiana Big Red Liquors locations to sign up today. For more info, BigRedLiquors.com.
Guys take pride in their performance, and they love talking about it.
How about we talk about my golf handicap or the new deck I just built by myself?
And guys are especially proud of their performance in the bedroom, unless, of course, that's an issue.
Let's talk about sports or something.
But what about
Look, I said sports.
Don't let erectile dysfunction rob you of your sex life or your pride. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic now at 317-999-9000 and find out about Pulse ED, the revolutionary ED treatment that can fully restore your sexual function without needles or surgery. In just 6 quick, easy, non-invasive sessions, Pulse ED can restore your performance and your pride.
My bedroom's rocking now. You want to hear about it?
No, we can't do that on the radio.
You sure? Because I really want to talk about it.
No, we're good. To schedule your Pulse ED consultation, call 317-999-9000. That's 317-999-9000 or visit IndyMen'sClinic.com.
Get up and go now so you can go tonight.
You got it right. Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37. It is in Fishers, and Eric Wilson is the guy that I want you to talk to because he's got the line on that new set of wheels that you're looking for, too. The most commonly asked question about Indiana's Best of Me is this: do they have the inventory? And I talk to Eric all the time, and they do have the inventory. So if you're looking for a new vehicle, you got one-stop shopping. So they got the inventory, they have the great prices, and they also give you the best car buying experience anywhere in the state of Indiana, and it's all at one place. You got it right. It's Andy Moore Buick GMC. That's 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
This is how we reinvent banking.
Every week or two, your paycheck comes through. Steady like a stopwatch, easy to view. But if your bank knows that your checks will drop like clockwork, can't they speed it up, huh? Enter Huntington, punchline please, where your paycheck's delivered up to 2 days early. Get your paychecks up to 2 days early. That's how we reinvent banking. Huntington, welcome.
Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply. Learn more at huntington.com/earlypay.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook is ready to make this football season one to remember. All season long, you can score at Bet Rivers Sportsbook with free bets, odds boosts, and more. With player props, thousands of game lines, and live in-game betting, Bet Rivers Sportsbook delivers a best-in-class sports betting experience and has an experienced customer service team to back it up. Visit Bet Rivers Sportsbook today and bet this football season with a local trusted team that puts you first. Go to BetRivers.com and be a winner. Partner of French Lick Casino Resort. Must be 21 or over to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448. Playable only in Indiana.
Hey, everybody out there, JMV here, and my guys John and Chris Love Heating and Air, right? Cold weather. You can't tell the day, but by the end of the week, we're going to take a dive. You got to make sure that your furnace is tuned up, safe, efficient, and good to go for the colder months ahead. That's right. Right now, get the recommended service from Love Heating and Air, and the Love family will waive the $95 trip and diagnostic fee just for you. Hey, that's who I trust at my place. I'd mentioned this a little bit earlier. My heat would go on last week for about 10 minutes and then go off. And I'm thinking, I'm not bright enough to understand it, so I call them at 317-754-0754, and they get right out there, right? Get right out there, and there's a bird nest in my flue that was causing the havoc. So I got it fixed immediately, the heat back on, courtesy of my friends at Love Heating and Air, 317-754-0754, the absolute best. Tell them I sent you online, love-hvac.com today.
It's time for the Crest Point Real Estate Market Minute.
It's Terry Stacy. With us is Patrick Keller, managing broker and owner of Crest Point Real Estate, Indy's real estate experts. Hello, Patrick.
Hey, Terry. If we had to title our weekly Crest Point Market Minutes, I would title this one Opportunity. This time of year, I think the best word for it in real estate is opportunity. In this market, I think it goes both ways. Purchasers, if you are interested in purchasing or you've been looking at purchasing a home, interest rates are going up just a smidge, so the opportunity might be fresh to not have as much competition and still keep a lower interest rate when you purchase. Sellers, the opportunity is still great. If you want to sell, you don't necessarily have to wait until spring. The market is still bearing multiple offer scenarios, and you're still getting what you want or a little bit more. It's a great market, fresh with opportunity. Always give us a call if you need anything.
This has been the Crest Point Real Estate Market Minute. Get your home value estimate in 60 seconds at sellwithpatrick.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The Colts host the division rival Jacksonville Jaguars. Coverage Sunday morning at 10 on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
It takes him a second to get on the stool because he's under 5 feet tall.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Let's do a little race trash, anything goes. You know, I mentioned David Bell. Purdue's going to join us bottom of the hour. How about Aiden O'Connell? 40 of 54. A robust 5.36 through the air. And 3 touchdowns. Man, that was nice. Boilermakers 40-29 over previously unbeaten and third-ranked Michigan State. That probably left a mark right there. David Bell, 11 catches, 217 through the air and a touchdown. His long was 53. But, man, was that an impressive performance. Race trash, anything goes at 239-1070. Again, you do not get checked in. You just call, Kyle puts you on hold, and we talk about whatever you would like to talk about. Remember, 6 o'clock hour, Colts Roundtable Live. Voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, will welcome Colts General Manager Chris Ballard for a conversation. Here's a race trash, anything goes quick email here. JMV, Are you upset that Emilio Estevez is not going to be in the latest Mighty Ducks edition? I've not seen one of them. I can't remember the last time I saw Estevez in anything. What the hell was that thing he was in with Piven where they went around Chicago and Dennis Leary was a gang leader and tried to smoke them all? What the hell was that? Judgment Night. Hell, that's 1993 or something. That's the last time I saw Estevez in a film. Judgment Night. Yeah, we're all scared of Dennis Leary. Please don't let Dennis Leary kick our ass. What? All right, Race Trash, anything goes. 239-1070. Line 1, you're on the air. Who's this?
Yeah, it's Tom.
Hello, Tom.
Hey, looking forward to Mount Vernon Roncalli playing 3 years in a row.
Oh, yeah.
In the playoffs. I'm from Mount Vernon, live right by Roncalli, so it's an interesting matchup for me.
You're from
Looking
Mount
forward to
Vernon.
it.
Wait a minute now. What? You're from?
Well, from Fortville. Went to
Okay.
Mount Vernon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
But I live on the south side, so right by Roncalli. So
And that game's
real
in
interested
game's in
this matchup.
Fortville on Friday night, right?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll have to drive all the way up there to go see it.
I was in the parking lot for the. It was packed. I got down from Fisher's from Parks Place Pub about midway through the third quarter finally, and it was packed. Chittard and Roncalli down there.
Yeah. Hey, quick question though.
Yeah.
When someone says pick a number between 1 and 10, are 1 and 10 included in that?
I think so. Yeah.
Me too.
Why? I mean, do you think that they're both the rare number selected because you say 1 and 10?
My sister-in-law told me numbers between 1 and 10. It has to be between 1 and 10, so it has to be 2 through 9.
No, you can go one and 10 included too. What's the most commonly selected number between 1 and 10? Do you know that? Does your sister know that?
I would assume 7.
Really? I was going to say 5 just because it's halfway between both.
That might be. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
All right.
Mount Vernon, Roncalli on Friday night. Regional final right there, everybody. Man, it was a good sectional final Friday night, though. It was packed at Roncalli. I don't like what just happened here on YouTube Live. You guys look at... I turned the light on. Have you seen me? I look like... You guys ever go in the convenience store and they got that chicken cooking under the light? That's what I look like right here. This makes me look even worse than I looked a little bit earlier. I can't have that. I think it'd help if I turned this... Look at that. I just look like I woke up from being asleep under a bridge or something here. What happened? You ever walk? I mean, obviously you have, right? You walk into, what are the places that have all the chicken joints in them? Like, there are a couple convenience stores that have chicken places in them too, right? That serve chicken.
I don't know, but
that's what I look like.
The Costco rotisserie chicken, that's what you look like.
No, I look like a yeah. My wife goes to Costco and they have this sliced turkey that's money. Roasted turkey that's money. Costco. I've been in there one time in my life. True story. Line 2's Race Trash. Anything goes. Racetrash.com. You're on the air. Who's this? Hello.
Oh, this is Gary. Gary.
Hello, Gary. Go ahead.
Hey, JMV. Love your show.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Envious of your hair. It's just fantastic. But anyway,
it is nice here. Yes, it is very nice.
I would like to give a shout out to your addition of Jake Query. I think he's going to bring a lot to the station, and just anxious to hear more from him. And wonder what's the odds we can get him on from noon to 3. Thank you, buddy.
Well, he's got a gig right now from 7 until 10. So yeah, and I'm happy too because as we've talked about before, Jake and I have been friends for the better part of 21 years. And everybody back to the day when he was over at whatever, is there still NDE over there right now? Whatever the hell they're doing over there's like 5 people in the building over there right now. But whatever they do over there right now, he was over there after I was over there. But we were friends going all the way back, even when I was with Mark Patrick back in the day. So everybody always thought, oh, you guys, 3 o'clock shows and competition and you hate one another. Yeah, I don't look good at all under this light. I look much better a little bit earlier today. Yeah, thank you. Matthew Stansberry says, hey, welcome to Popeyes. Now serving roasted JMV. I do look like that. Absolutely. Race trash, anything goes. Line 3. You're on the air. Hello.
Hey, it's Barry.
Hello, Barry.
A couple things real fast. I think the chicken you were talking about, the little emblem, is Charlie Biggs.
Charlie Biggs, everybody. Exactly.
There we go. And on a scale between 1 through 10, how much do you actually like Dan Dockich?
We don't see each other very much, but there's no problems. I don't think, not that I'm aware of. I think I've told this story before. I don't know if you've heard this. I try, other than maybe the 7 o'clock hour when I'm taking Blake to school, I don't listen to or watch very much sports talk. And I'm not suggesting this is the right way to do it, but I want to make sure I don't parrot what anybody else is saying, because it's tough not to anyway, because we're basically all talking about a lot of the same stuff. But I think it's easier if you listen to somebody, whether it's local or national, on your way downtown or when you're driving around or whatever. I think it's easier to parrot what they say, and I try really hard not to have that bouncing around. I guess that comes down to the fact I'm not very bright. So I try really hard not to have that bouncing around in my head, if that makes any sense. So I don't really listen a great deal to what else is going on, other than maybe the early 7 o'clock hour of the morning show when I'm taking Blake to Ron Colley. Right or wrong, that's just kind of and I've always done that. That's the way I've done it, even at the other station. That didn't answer your question at all. That's what you're saying. I thought it did, but. Yeah, people always say, hey, do you listen to this or you listen to that? And I don't. 7 o'clock hour. Like, I remember this morning I sent them a text. I was sitting in the parking lot at Walmart on 135, and Kevin had said something like, when I take Blake to school is when I will have it on. I listen to Sirius XM 33, the new wave station, and then I'll turn them on when they start. And I think Kevin had said something like, and there's nothing against Kevin. He said it. He said something like Miles. He was giving Greg Doyle credit for inspiring Miles's play lately.
He jump-started Miles's improved play.
And let me be honest with you, I mean, with all due respect to Greg Doyle, and I know that's always going to be a backhanded compliment coming. It's like, all right, with all due respect, here comes what I'm going to say and talk blank about you. But this is not at all the case. It has zero to do with it. None. Because what you're seeing from Miles right now is what you've always seen from Miles. I've just been really the only one around here that's ever been willing to accept it. That's just been me. Like, I've always accepted it. Sometimes it's going to be good. But he has been essential for where this team has been. And, you may not like it, but it has been worse when he's not been out there. His defense has been essential. Offensively, he's going to have good games and going to be bad. And he's just on a nice stretch right now. To see something motivate him like that, which that was not the case, and it didn't, but to see that, you would have to give me a longer stretch. Because this is what I think probably drives people most nuts about 33. I've just always been willing to accept it. I mean, he's been good. He's wanted to be here. And it's always made sense to me. But I've had to sell that to everybody else. Because when I get into my pro-Miles stance, I guess like I am right now, it was always because everybody else jumped on him. Everybody else was always this and that. I mean, I remember back 4 years ago, when he spent an offseason in Texas doing yoga or whatever he was doing to get his body in better shape. I mean, no matter what he has done in the offseason, somebody has always kind of cut on it. And I just went down with it. I just see it a little bit differently, and I have accepted. I would love for him to be better, higher level, more consistent, but he has been good, and that's what I have expected. So to me, there's no big, innovative read or opinion that has inspired him during this stretch to play better. This is just how Miles plays. And no, Dustin, it won't matter against Philly because what's his nuts isn't playing because he's got COVID. Does he have COVID or is he? Yeah, Embiid has COVID. So that's always been my take on that. And that's not at all what he asked. But that's just why when people go, hey, you don't listen to everything, you must not like others. I get along. You guys know me. I get along with everybody. Unless you're a complete crank to me, which some are, I will get along with anybody. But if you're a crank, I won't get along with you again because I'm a grudge-holding son of a gun. I mean, I'm really easy. But no, that's not the reason why I don't listen. I have a great deal of respect for everybody in the job that they do, but I try to stay as fresh for me as possible. As fresh and as local. If that makes sense to you. All right, so I'm looking at Chase Claypool tonight is trending. That doesn't mean he's not playing, all right? You going to give him anything tonight? I only need about 64 points. Come on, baby. Hey, JMV, we need a bet between you and Brent Holverson for the Roncalli Mount Vernon game. Yeah, we can do that coming up on Thursday. Thank you for the question, by the way. I hope that that answers it or half-assedly answers it. Line 4's Race Trash. Anything goes. You are up next. Who's this?
Hey, this is Terry. How you doing, John?
Terry, it's great to hear from you. Go ahead.
Couple things. First, on the between 1 and 10 thing, it all depends on how it's worded. If it's worded between 1 and 10, it literally is.
Okay.
Often it's worded that way. It can also be worded, pick a number from 1 to 10. So there you have that. The main reason I called, do you remember the reaction that the Jets defense had after Leonard made that fabulous punch out? Did you pick up on that?
I did not. Did I miss something? What? I don't exactly know what you're talking about.
Watch the game again, and you'll see 3 of the wildest haymaker punch tries that I've seen in the league. It's crazy.
From their defense is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember when Pittman had the
so you're suggesting that what Darius Leonard does is becoming a trendy thing to do?
And I think it just infuriated them, and they were wildly swinging at the ball. If you get a chance, watch highlights after Leonard punches the ball out from the defense.
You bring up a fantastic point. And this, I think, is even more credit to Darius Leonard because this has to be with this defense because it's really the only thing this defense does well, right?
Yeah.
This has to be the first point that anybody offensively discusses. And how he, in the midst of all this focus on him doing that, is still able to do it, I think is even more incredible this season.
I think his ability to do that, to see it and to envision it and do it is kind of like the thing that Larry Bird had as far as his court awareness and his ability to pass the ball like a half a second ahead of anybody else thinking. You know what I mean?
I think it's amazing because clearly when you think about this defense, that's the first thing that's going to be mentioned every single time. And the fact that he's still able to do it seemingly game after game is amazing. And I think especially with this defense makes it even more valuable because they really don't do anything outside of that well.
You remember the one on Pittman, right?
I do.
Pittman holding the ball?
I do.
And the guy, you remember how his clenched fist grazes his helmet? It's crazy. Yep. Watch it. It really happened. It kind of just made them crazy, you know?
Yep. Hey, thank you for the call. I appreciate that. trying to create turnovers. Can you imagine without Darius Leonard on this team and, how people thought he was playing and he got paid and he's not playing up to without what he has done in the turnover category. Think about this defense for a moment. And that's why I mentioned it's even more amazing that with the focus that has to be given from these other teams, and I'm sure the focus that Jacksonville is going to put on this guy actively trying to stalk, hunt you down, and punch that out, that he's able to do that consistently still. As I mentioned, that's amazing. Back to line one, Race Trash, anything goes at 239-1070. You're on the air. Who's this?
What's up, JMV? It's Garen.
Get? What's happening? You're thrilled. David Bell's going to join us at the bottom of the hour, and the Boilermakers do it again. So you're in Thrillsville right now. Hey, how does it feel to be a part? We'll see what the basketball team does, but there's a lot of glory expected there, too. Got both things running well at the same time. That's got to feel good.
Yeah. What kills me about this year, and I can't remember if I end up getting in on it or not. I've just been so busy lately, but kind of in the midst of late September, early October, just one of my big criticisms of where things were going was just it was generic play calling, and it was like Brom lost that mantra that they were going to have trick plays and have fun things and be a step ahead of everybody, and it was just they'd be running on first and second down, and I'm just like, what the hell football team am I watching right now? 1 month later, it's like everything I was hoping for is there now, and it's amazing sometimes to watch teams progress. And it happens to coaching staffs too, but they improve as the season goes along. And, I mean, I was big on Jack Plummer to start the year.
I was going to ask you that. Aiden O'Connell, how shocked are you with what he's done?
I mean, look at the numbers against Iowa. 30 out of 40, 375 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah. What did he do the other day? 526 yards, 40 of 54. I mean, he always had thrown the prettiest ball, but he basically had the fastball, and that's it. And, I mean, and it's the same thing with him. As I tell anybody, it was the difference between having him and Plummer is Plummer could scramble a little bit, and having O'Connell back there was like having Phillip Rivers. He was a statue. But as the season has progressed, they've figured out with the line. They've had this piecemeal thing going, and I mean, the other day was just an absolute beaut. You could not play quarterback better than he did the other day. You could not call a game better than Jeff Brom did the other day. And I mean, we're just talking 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was ready to pull the few hairs I have left out of my head. And that's just why I just try to encourage people as much as I can. You get high, you get low. Everybody does it. You're excited about a win. And then, next week later, it's like they can't stop Wisconsin from running. It's like, oh, well, what the heck are we going to do as a program? 2 weeks later, they're back high again. And it's just, teams learn as they go along, just like everybody else does. And, man, Saturday was a hell of a lot of fun.
Good for you.
Fun to be there, and I mean, you can't have a better passing game than they do right now.
I believe that there was a party in the Tippy on Saturday night, if I were to guess. So, hey, Garen, good to hear from you, man. Hope I see you again soon. Thanks, brother.
Yep. See you, bud.
Yeah, party in the Tippy. Now, line 2's Race Trash. Anything goes. You're on the air. Who's this?
JMV. It's Bill from Greenfield.
Bill from Greenfield. Hello.
Hey, I have a question. I was a big Query and Schultz fan, and I'm grateful that Jake got a job, but is Derek still around? Is he still in the business? I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, he works at ISC with Rakestraw, and they still do the Monday thing, too.
Oh, nice. That's all I needed. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you got it, man. Yeah, he still works with Greg. I don't know what he does, but he does something essential and significant with Greg. And then he and Jake still do the podcast, or the video podcast, whatever that is called that they do on Monday. They still do that, because I know Jake wanted to continue that when he got the morning gig. And we talked a little bit earlier on the way in. So it's weird too. People always think, man, if you don't listen to the other shows, you're just trying to be a crank to the other shows, and I'm not. That's just always how I've handled it. I remember back, I would sit at, I probably don't have enough time to explain this now, do I? When I was at NDE, I would sit there all day long, and Jim Rome would be on. And at the end of 3 hours of Jim Rome, I'd be talking, and and I just thought, man, this is not good. I got to try to be as original as possible in a world where there's not a great deal of originality for this. I mean, especially locally when you end up talking about, again, essentially all the same stuff. It'd just be really easy to parrot that, and I never wanted to parrot it. So just something I've always done, or at least tried to do. Try to keep, as they have said, the palate clean for 3 hours of conversation. You guys have been fantastic. Race Trash Anything Goes, looking for drivers right now if you got that commercial driver's license, and also looking for non-drivers too. Racetrash.com if you want to sign up for that today and see what they have to offer. Again, since the 1960s, family-oriented. Seriously. See the orange trucks around here? That's racetrash.com. Race Trash Anything Goes. We're expecting David Bell from the Purdue Boilermakers, the wide receiver, to join us next.
We've done it again.
Golden Oak Lending has dropped rates even lower.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With a 1.875% rate and home values up, you can get more cash out now.
Call 317-706-GOLD today and make no mortgage payments until next year.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.952% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
So then I dropped some garlic and croutons on there, and the rest is salad history. I made the best salad ever, people, and now I'm making the best app. The Caesar Sportsbook app got live in-game betting, parlays, and Caesar rewards. Caesar salad ain't got nothing on my app. Nothing!
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app. Your app is ready, Emperor.
When we at AmericanEagle.com were asked by our client, Repair Clinic, to, repair their website, our digital marketing experts, like Tim, rolled up their sleeves and got to work. If you know Tim, you know that he loves a good challenge, which meant that this project was pretty much the highlight of Tim's year. From improving slow-loading performance that plagued our client's site to slashing duplicate pages and building an optimized sitemap, Tim was like a real-life action hero, but of website optimization. And our client reaped the benefits with major strides in their SEO, like more traffic, impressions, and revenue. Tim and the team even helped them create search and email marketing campaigns and better ongoing analytics tracking. However complex your digital challenges, from digital marketing and strategy to web development, UX, and more, talk to the experts at AmericanEagle.com. Don't just grow, soar.
Hey, Big Red Liquors, month of November. Here's what they're going to give for you. You slide by one of their 59 locations, right? Sign up for your chance to win a $500 Visa gift card just in time for the holidays. That is their November giveaway at Big Red Liquors. I mean, all the stuff you need for gift giving anyway that everybody will love, but also maybe win a $500 Visa gift card from Big Red Liquors. Sign up at the 59 locations, the one nearest you, or for more info online, bigredliquors.com.
This holiday at Metro by T-Mobile, the big 5G upgrade just got better because now Metro has the largest selection of free 5G phones in prepaid, like the Samsung Galaxy 5G. And Metro gives you one line of unlimited 5G data for just $25 a month, with 5G included at no extra cost. So you'll be able to stream, snap, upload, and share the holiday cheer all season. Ring in the holidays with the big 5G upgrade from Metro. Get unlimited 5G and a brand new 5G phone when you switch and trade in. More choices on free 5G phones, more savings, and more 5G coverage at no extra cost. All with the power of the T-Mobile 5G network. That's how you get more for the holidays. Only at Metro. After 24 months, $25 price may increase. Limited time in store only. No tethering. Unlimited on network only. Required port from eligible carrier of congested data users greater than 35 gigabytes per month. Notice lower speeds, and Metro customers notice lower speeds versus T-Mobile due to deprioritization. Video at 480p. See store for details.
My crusade for the perfect pizza crust has led me here, pining over a backyard wood-fired oven. But how do I bake this build into my budget? Where can I get some solid guidance on my finances? Who can help me understand if I have the dough for this?
A little financial advice. At Regions, we know that's important because your Life Green checking account comes with Greenprint, financial planning with a banker who will help you create a personal budget and live in the moment. Make your appointment at regions.com/greenprint. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232, markdietel.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. If you're in the market for a new home or just wanted to sell yours, get something with a little bit more property, go with the person that has the guarantees. I mean, he's going to get the job done for you. Only agent I know that's going to guarantee multiple offers in 3 days for full market value, or he's going to sell it for free. No matter your situation, I know a lot of you are thinking about moving right now, thinking about putting your house on the market, moving someplace else. This is the person that you go with and trust every single time. Mark Dietel. 317-755-4232. 317-755-4232. It's markdietel.com, Mark, DIETEL.com today.
When it comes to working at Geico, our best advocates are our employees, like Michael. But since he is so focused on growing his career, we hired an actor to read his story.
If you want a job where you get out as much as you put in, Geico is the best place to work. Plus, we promote from within, so there are no ceilings placed on your opportunities.
They even offer parental leave to full-time employees. So there's nothing stopping him from going all the way to the top. But not too high. He's scared of heights.
Ready to start your career, Indy? We're hiring claim sales and service agents. Apply online today at geico.job/Indy.
Dan versus Fan, sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings app. Use code 1075FAN to get in on all the action.
The Ride with JMV.
And you could tell Rolling Stone magazine that my last words were, I'm on drugs.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Colts Roundtable Live has the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, conversing with General Manager Chris Ballard. Top of the hour. Joe Wrights and Rick Venturi also a part of that, but Matt will start off the show coming up here at 6 with Colts General Manager Chris Ballard. So that should be good listen coming up here at the top of the hour. Later on this week, Michael Pittman Jr., I would assume, right, at some point. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we've got road shows. Your chance to come out and hang out with us. I think last week was basically about every one, right, except for Monday. But now we've been on a nice run of being out, and we were up in Fishers on Friday. That was outstanding at Parks Place Pub, and love seeing everybody out there, too. So we'll be back out Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, you have been absolutely thrilled, Boilermaker fans, with watching this dude play. And once again, over 200 yards receiving, 11 catches, and a touchdown from Warren Central High School. David Bell, Boilermaker wide receiver, joins us. Hey, David, thanks for the time. How are you?
No problem. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. How about you?
Man, I could not be better. Watching you and your teammates offensively perform in that upset of then unbeaten and third-ranked Michigan State on Saturday afternoon, that had to be awesome. Describe that atmosphere. I mean, there was a field rush for good reason after the game. What was that atmosphere like for you and your teammates?
It was crazy, being able to see the stadium sold out. Anytime we see that, we know we need to put on the show, and I think we did that on Saturday. So just finally get a big win for the fans at home, and not only meant a lot for me, but it meant a lot for the university also.
So David Bell with us, you always have the confidence, always, going back to high school, probably even before high school when only friends and family were watching you play. But I've noticed over the past couple of weeks, certainly with that Iowa win 2 or 3 weeks ago and what's gone down, it seems like your teammates are getting more confident alongside of you as well. Have you seen that, both sides of the football, over the past month or so?
Yeah, of course. Like you said, in the Iowa win, I think a lot of guys realize that they can play against the top-ranked teams and they can do well. I know a lot of us could have went to many different universities, but we chose here to come to Purdue, and we knew that we can go anywhere and play, like I said. So they just needed that confidence and know that they can go out and play against those guys. And the confidence is definitely rising, not only for myself, but for everyone on this roster.
How is this season going for you, before we get to the team, but for you individually compared to before the season, what you thought about it?
It's going pretty good. I had high expectations, and I'm still trying to reach those expectations. I'm close to reaching them, but it's going pretty good, I can say.
How about your team? 6-3, 4-2. I mean, in the mix, no doubt, in the West right now. How do you view this team compared to what you had as far as team goals and thoughts before the start of the season?
I think we're right on mark. Our goal is to go to the Big Ten championship, and like you said, we're still in the race to go to the Big Ten championship. So that was the number one goal, is just try to get to the Big Ten championship.
So David Bell, Boilermaker wide receiver, he's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You mentioned the Iowa game, and certainly that was a turning point for you and your teammates as far as confidence was concerned. Was there a signature moment, you think, for this team? Not outside, maybe just a moment in a game. Not so much just a win over Iowa or certainly what took place at Ross-Ade on Saturday afternoon, but a signature moment in a game this year where you think maybe the thinking about how the season can go changed?
I personally think the interception last week that Jalen Graham had against Nebraska, I think, that kind of gave us a spark, to finish that game strong and then carry the momentum over to Michigan State.
You could pick out a number of plays with you in mind, certainly, but normally it's always one of those moments that you wouldn't necessarily think about unless, well, David, is like you and you're actually playing in the games. But it's always interesting to look back at those turning points, especially for the good in a long season like this.
Yes, that is very true. Like you said again, it builds off the confidence. So when guys are able to make plays on the field, other guys are eager to make plays too, but we know we have to stay disciplined and stay true to ourselves, because if we're in the right position at the right time, the plays are going to be made.
You mentioned confidence too, David. Aiden O'Connell, how much confidence do you see in throwing the football from your quarterback right now?
A lot. He's walking around with a swagger that we haven't really seen before, and last week he threw for over 500 yards, and the week before that he had a good game, and he just continued to build on top of that.
I got to hear about this Aiden O'Connell swagger. What's that look like? What's that swagger look like?
At first he's just a cool guy, but I think he's walking around with a little swagger, like he knows he's able to play well against.
Yeah, no doubt about that. David Bell, hopefully it sounded like he kind of hung up there. You still with us, David? I thought that's how that sounded. That sounded like his phone just crudted out on us. See if he can rejoin us in just a second. David Bell's phone, he was in the midst of describing the swagger of Aiden O'Connell. I think we all need to hear the end of that, too. By the way, Boilermakers on the road at 5th-ranked Ohio State coming up on Saturday afternoon at 3:30. That is going to be an ABC game right there, too, which hopefully is spectacular from a Boilermaker standpoint. Yeah, that was. I'm assuming that was definitely his phone, right? You can just kind of tell it ended. 40-29 is what we're talking about. The Purdue win over 3rd-ranked Michigan State. I mean, if not for that Wisconsin game, which is a bummer, it is always interesting to go back and hear these guys talk about when that significant turning point was in the season. And it wasn't so much against Iowa as it was the description defensively against Nebraska back the week before last. But he has had an incredible season. It's a fun season to watch. Looks like, too, that his teammates kind of doing the same right now. Right in the middle of things going on. Big Ten West, 6-3. And I'm assuming a lot of Boilermaker fans are pleasantly surprised with the way that they played up until this point. We'll see if we can't reconnect with David Bell. If we can't, maybe we'll hit a break here early and see if we can get back with him. If not, no harm, no foul, phone-wise. I think that's him again. I'll hang in here a little bit longer. See if David Bell jumps back on with us right now. Sometimes you're at the mercy of phones, and we get that. That's why I have been gifted with the fill time content. Oh, it just fell off again. That may be us. How's that just go off like that? That's incredible. It's a good thing you got the king of content filler guy right here or we'd all be screwed. Yeah, hopefully it's not us. Boilermakers at Ohio State coming up. That's Saturday afternoon at 3:30 on ABC. We'll see if David Bell's phone... Oh, it won't even answer now? Well, that is definitely us. What the hell's going on here? Can I pick it up over here, you think? Let me see. No? Yeah. Jim McCann says David Bell just showed out. It's not his problem. This is we've got a phone issue here. All your race trash, anything goes, come in clear, and then our phone keeps hanging up on David Bell. That's great. That's weird. I've never seen anything like that before. Kyle picks up and it hangs up. Kyle picks up, it hangs up. He calls back, you pick up, and it hangs up again. I don't know if I've ever seen it. We are stretching my stretch skills right now, by the way. I don't know if that's going to work. I'll tell you what, tell him we can get him back. We'd love to have him back, but I can't have this. How does anything goes work, and then he gets on here, and it lasts for about 5 minutes? I had another 5 minutes to go here. Want me to hit a break and come back, see if we can figure something out? All right. David Bell hopefully can rejoin us. I apologize for the phone malfunction here, but I have no idea what it's doing, and if it is confusing Kyle, then you know it's unfortunate. David Bell, the Boilermakers, we'll see if we can't rejoin him. Remember, top of the hour, you got Chris Ballard and Matt Taylor on Colts Roundtable Live beginning at 6 o'clock. We'll see if we can't reconnect with David Bell next.
Colts fans, for a special ticket price, you can sit with JMV or donate and send a local service member to the Colts versus Jags game. Head to 1075thefan.com/fanzone to get your ticket.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires for the lowest price on every tire every day with financing available. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. This year, our average client received over $52,000 with an easy cash-out refinance. What would you do with an extra $52,000? Pay off those high-interest rate credit cards? Maybe start a business? Or knock out those home improvement projects? Let's make those dreams a reality today. Mortgage rates are near historic lows. Apply for your cash-out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
BetRivers Sportsbook wants you to be in control of your football bets. That's why players love the same game parlays at BetRivers. Same game parlays let you mix and match player props and game bets, and gives a payout boost to the winning combinations you want to root for. Combine two bets or combine many. You pick your confidence level and then watch the game unfold. Bet on same-game parlays at BetRivers.com or download the BetRivers app. Must be 21 and located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Hey, BullseyeEventGroup.com, Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. All ready to party again on Sunday morning. The doors open 3 hours prior to the kick. Jags and Colts, you could be there. All you can eat, all you can drink inside the Bullseye Event Center. Get your passes today. Skids, Helicon doing the entertainment. I'm going to tell you, it is going to be a chilly one on Sunday morning, too. Climate controlled inside the Bullseye Event Center. And if you don't have tickets to the game, you can also combo that up with Colts VIP tailgate passes and make it a day. The best game day experience you're going to have is attending before the actual game itself. The BullseyeEventGroup.com, Colts VIP tailgate. Presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Log on and get your passes now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
At Huntington, we've been asking ourselves, is it possible to lend money at zero interest? And it totally is. Introducing Standby Cash. When you need extra cash, you can qualify for between $100 and $1,000 at Huntington. And it's free when you autopay us back across 3 months. Why would a bank do that? Just to look out for people. That's how we reinvent banking. Huntington. Welcome. Without automatic payments, 12% APR. Eligibility requirements apply. Amount available is based on customer eligibility. Learn more at huntington.com/standbycash.
Light up the holidays with a personalized gift from Shane Company.
A diamond accented charm necklace with her baby's initial, because she's a new mom.
A beautiful 14-karat gold necklace personalized with her birthstone, because the world is better with her in it.
A breathtaking ruby and diamond ring engraved with the date you met.
because it was meant to be.
Shane Company will help you create a gift that shows how much you care. With so many unique styles to choose from and the most beautiful diamonds and gemstones, you can create a meaningful gift. We have the highest standards for quality and craftsmanship. Whether you spend a couple $100s or many thousands, she'll know that you put your heart into her gift. Book a virtual or an in-store appointment with a non-commissioned jewelry consultant or just drop by the store. Check our website for hours. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and Shaneco.com.
317-284-9526. That's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. Any plumbing issues that you have, I've got the place, the people for you. Local and the best at LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526. Large, small jobs, and especially the emergency plumbing situations. At your fingertips. Make sure you have this number handy in case you need it. 317-284-9526 for the best online. LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
We've done it again.
Golden Oak Lending has dropped rates even lower.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With a 1.875% rate and home values up, you can get more cash out now.
Call 317-706-GOLD today and make no mortgage payments until next year.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.952% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
There has never been a better time to work at Amazon. They are offering sign-on bonuses up to $3,000 and pay up to $24.50 per hour. Many jobs come with great benefits that start on your first day, and Amazon offers a variety of paths for career growth. They have flexible shifts and schedules, and you can start in as little as 7 days, so you'll be earning extra income just in time for the holidays. Go to Amazon.com/apply to get started today. Amazon is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Jake Query. Tomorrow on Kevin and Query, plenty of Colts chat and Pacers getting set to go into Denver on Wednesday night. Your phone calls as well. We'll talk to you at 7 a.m. Kevin and Query, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Just an average guy with exceptional hair.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, I got a pair of tickets for you right now, number 9 at 239-1070. Dierks Bentley is going to be at Assembly Hall in Bloomington. Or as I guess I should say, the Simon Scott Assembly Hall in Bloomington. Dierks Bentley, March the 4th, 2022. When is the last time they had a concert in Assembly Hall? Have they had a concert in Assembly Hall since it was named Simon Scott Assembly Hall? I bet they haven't. Dierks Bentley, March the 4th, number 9 at 239-1070 is going to go. I think I've seen one concert in my history of concerts at Assembly Hall in Bloomington. 1996. Want to guess who it was? Make sure I remember who it was. Bush and No Doubt. There was somebody else. Bush, No Doubt, and the Goo Goo Dolls.
Looks like Luke Bryan was the last one to play. Oh, no. Let's see here.
Oh, that's been a long time.
It's 2017.
Yeah. Look, it's 1996. Bush, No Doubt, and the Goo Goo Dolls. And we ran out of liquor, and then everybody's got a friend, right? And even back in the day, it was certainly less difficult, but it was still difficult. Everybody's got a friend that can just like stealth in and out of everything. You know, he's the one that brings, weed in a ball jar back in the day to Deer Creek and gets in, no problem, right? That guy, stealth out, you need something, comes back in, doesn't have to pay, doesn't get approached by anybody. Not suggesting any of these things are good ideas, but it has happened. Yeah, my man David Hayes got out, went to Big Red Liquors, got some more alcohol, and then got back in, and I still to this day have no idea how. No Doubt, Bush, and the Goo Goo Dolls was the last time. That was 1996. And that was the only one I've ever seen inside Assembly Hall. I mean, everything else was at Memorial Stadium, and I mean, hell, those were 2 Mellencamp shows, one in high school and one in college. That's about it. Hey, JMV, tell me Jonathan Taylor's halftime rush and pass stats so I don't have to call in versus the Jets. Well, I got to go look that up. I don't have that in front of me right now. Let me go look that up. We're trying to hope that the phone will work. Hey, by the way, that was on their end, and hopefully we can get David Bell back on again. I apologize for that, but there is absolutely nothing we can do. That was not on our end. I think it's one of those situations where the SID and David were kind of merging calls, and they were having a little bit of foobar go down there. So that is not on us, but it's all good, man. And hopefully we can get back on again at some point and a couple more things to ask. And I wanted to ask the basketball question, too, because I really enjoy asking that, even though you guys hate it. But I would like to thank David Bell for calling in. We got a good 5 minutes, but wanted to go a little bit longer. So sorry about that. Yeah, Bob wanted to know if we could record it and go overtime, and we could, but the problem is we got Colts Roundtable Live, top of the hour, Chris Ballard and Matt Taylor, so Kyle's got to handle that. And I've got to get Laney to a practice at the SAC tonight, so I got to go and take my 11-year-old to a basketball practice at the SAC. The Student Athletic Center, also known as the SAC. I wish I would have practiced every day if we'd got to practice in a place called the SAC. By the way, CG, Kyle. CG. They've got a SAC. I had one gym when I grew up. Our ass was playing outside. Yeah, you got the SAC and 9,000 gyms. They got a natatorium that's ridiculous. Come on, CG. I wanted to bring this up before we go. A friend of mine, and I know a lot of you remember him as well from his IU playing days, Ryan Tapek, who I knew a great deal at Prairie Meridian, still do. My daughter, his daughter, same age. His mom passed away a couple of days ago, and I wanted to send out our condolences. Ours, my family's, because I've known him for a long time, and I've known his parents for a long time, and that makes me feel incredibly bad. And I wanted to send that out, and I know that they are dealing with a lot of other things right now, but I wanted to send out our thoughts and our condolences to Ryan and his family, Chris and Nicole. His brother and his sister, on the loss of their mom. And our thoughts and condolences going out to the Tapek family on that, for real. Because that is incredibly tough. But to all his family, we're thinking about you guys. We really are. And thank you very much for all that you've done for Laney over the years and been nice to Laney and our family, and we're all sad on a day like today, no doubt about that. Another sad news, too. Cal Burleson, synonymous with the Indianapolis Indians for so many years, longtime member, business office, former general manager, Cal Burleson. He died on Sunday at the age of 71. And I saw this courtesy of Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business. I mean, Cal Burleson around here has been essential in this community for so many years, and certainly notable for being a part of the Indianapolis Indians organization. Joined at 1975, ticket manager, worked his way up to a top executive spot, GM in 1998, held that role through 2014, and Cal Burleson passed away at the age of 71 yesterday. And our condolences going out to Cal and his family as well. A lot of local ties going on, no doubt, right there. Hey, Kyle, great job from you today. I want to thank David Bell for calling in. It's all good with the phone. If we can get him back on again at some point to conclude that conversation, I would love to. You guys were fantastic today. Thank you very much. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, it was good to see you guys again. And been in for a week. A little activity. We'll do that again coming up tomorrow as well. The Lounge on YouTube Live, Facebook Live. I'll do that coming up again tomorrow. Today, we went behind the scenes on 5 with Kyle and I cutting commercials on Facebook Live. More conventional coming up tomorrow, I promise you that. Jeremiah Johnson, David Bell, podcast 1075thefan.com. Matt Taylor, voice of the Colts, has Chris Ballard, Colts general manager, next. Colts Roundtable Live to start. Keep it right here. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Have a great night.
It's Kevin and Query.
Kevin and Query. Kevin Bowen and Jake Query coming at you from 7 to 10.
Up and running and ready to go.
With Tennessee winning, the AFC South is all but over.
I do think the Colts have a really good chance of getting in as a wild card. I'm older than you. I got to rely on you on what's hip.
Boy, I don't know if I can help you out there.
The Colts have to make sure they are minding their P's and Q's and that they're getting each game that they're supposed to get from here moving forward.
Kevin and Query.
Weekday mornings at 7.
On 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, this is Jeff Saturday, and you've heard me talk about More Restoration for years. And yes, it's true, I've used More Restoration on my home 3 separate times for a fire and flooding. I care about my family, and More made me feel confident in using them. Kenny and the team at More have just become a part of First On Site, making them one of the largest restoration companies in Indiana and North America. Same people, same personal customer service, but large enough to handle any loss, any disaster with First On Site. When you need help, call the people Jeff Saturday calls. Call More Restoration, a First On Site company.
Hey, it's JMV, and if you're like me, getting a good night's sleep is really important. But for years, I was sleeping horribly because my snoring. It was affecting my health and my daily life. Everything I tried failed until I went to Aurora Sleep Clinic. At Aurora Sleep Clinic, they set me up with a simple, comfortable, and affordable custom-fit mouthpiece. I wear it at night, and it has incredibly stopped my snoring. I sleep great and wake up refreshed. I love it, and so does my wife. Visit StopYourSnoreNow.com to schedule your free consultation today.
We've done it again.
Golden Oak Lending has dropped rates even lower.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With a 1.875% rate and home values up, you can get more cash out now.
Call 317-706-GOLD today and make no mortgage payments until next year.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.952% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, welcomes you with the lock of the year. Simply place a $10 moneyline wager on either Chicago or Pittsburgh, and if either team scores a touchdown in the game, you'll win $200 in free bets regardless of your bet's outcome. Just use the bonus code THEFAN200, that's all one word, capital T, capital F, when you make your first bet. Enjoy football like never before with BetMGM's live betting options, boosted odds specials, and daily promotions at your fingertips all season long. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use that bonus code. Again, it's the FAN200 to win $200 in free bets if either Chicago or Pittsburgh scores a touchdown. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Fall in Indy, and for 20 years, Rhino Shield's been covering Indiana homes like your neighbor Edwina.
So over the years, I had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
And Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
I've had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here and picking up things in the yard. But Rhino Shield was right on it.
You too can help Rhino Shield celebrate 20 years of covering Indiana homes for 20% off the regular price.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint, don't vinyl.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, it's JMV with my daughter, Lainey.
Hello.
Lainey, why don't you tell everybody why you're here?
Because I'm helping you announce the Forum Credit Union's Sprout of the Month winner.
Each month, you can enter your child's picture in Forum's Sprout of the Month contest.
It can be a school pic, a pic with them playing a sport, even a pic with your dad.
The winner receives $100 in a Sprout account, Forum Credit Union's college savings account.
It helps kids like me save money for college.
And with the recent events, it's more important now to teach your young folks how to save.
Dad, I think it's time for this month's winner.
This month's winner of Forum Credit Union's Sprout of the Month is Uriah Kegler.
Well, Dad, another one in the books. Hey, what's the over-under for the winner next month?
You gotta stop listening to my show. Remember, go to 1075thefan.com and read about the complete details on Forum Credit Union's Sprout of the Month. Lainey and I will be back next month with another winner from 1075 The Fan and Forum Credit Union.
Get the service that you deserve and refinance today at HeroLoan.com. The only way to VA.